Hey, how's it going? All right, so get that. It's super loud out here, so I apologize for that. There's a lightning storm going on and a construction across just sorry, all the way around. Um, so Planet Peterson. I didn't this video was brought to my attention. This is an old video. I didn't even realize this. It's like from 8 months ago. He was talking about like the politics of atheism. And so I kind of just wanted to take a look at it, see what's going on here. It was brought to my attention in the Discord. You can put up videos in the Discord, and we will watch them at some point. But yeah, so I kind of just wanted to react and respond to some of his political views and stuff that he's saying about the atheist politics, whatever that means. I don't know. We're gonna get into it. But I'm Brentley. This is the Punk Apostate. Let's go. So I think I queued it up right. Let me see here. I didn't want to. It's like a half an hour video, and so I at least want. And a lot of it's just like introducing stuff, whatever, just talking about what new atheism is or was, or whatever. And so this, I think, is the spot that I kind of wanted to talk about. But here we go.
Having sex outside marriage or whatever, but you've got it so bad in that elevator.
So
women are
this was what I think was coined as elevator gate. And it was when well, I'll let him describe it a little bit.
something. Maybe he said something to her. I don't, or something like that. Some woman posted, he's gotten into some trouble for saying some things fairly recently. This was a few years ago. This happened on Twitter or something like that. Some woman posted something about how she was in an elevator and like a man stared at her or something. Maybe he said something to her. I don't remember, but she like wrote about being really uncomfortable. And Dawkins said, yeah, in Islamic countries, women are executed for, extramarital, like having sex outside marriage or whatever, but you've got it so bad in that elevator, don't you? Basically, which there's
very, very, just minimizing everything she had described as experiencing. First of all, I think it was, if I'm not mistaken, and correct me if I'm wrong about any of this. I think it was Rebecca Watson, right? And she was on an elevator, and this dude got on the elevator and then repeatedly hit on her in the elevator with the door closed, and it's just the two of them. Don't do that. Just don't do that. That's wow. That is that. Talk about intimidating. Like my good, like that is a scary position for a woman to be in. But yeah, Dawkins was like, oh, but it's so hard for women in Muslim countries. So shut up. Like I didn't like what? Like what is like how's he getting mad at her for just describing like something that happened and her like her emotional state at the time, which was fearful for good reason. You're trapped in a tiny space with somebody that you don't know if they're a crazy person or not. And they're at least a little bit crazy because they clearly don't give a shit if you're super uncomfortable in a tight space like that. And then you're just going to sit there and hit on them. And when you say no, you can't leave. Okay. The doors haven't opened yet. Like you're just stuck there. Okay. Whew. Anyway, so no, the answer is still no. Yep. No, I know. This is just damn. Why didn't you ask it like the very end? Like it's just the weirdest place to do that. And it's just very intimidating. So yeah. And she was just like, don't do that, y'all. Don't hit on women in elevators. It makes us uncomfortable, yada yada. Which obviously that makes so much sense. It's unreal. And yeah, Dawkins was a total dick about it.
There's nothing incorrect about what he said. I mean, I guess I can understand how it comes across as totally tone deaf and like, I don't know, diminishing her experience, which she wasn't assaulted or anything like that. But shit like that.
Did she need to be? Was that she you can only have feelings about this sort of stuff If you're assaulted, then you're like, okay, well, then you're allowed to be, you're like upset or afraid or something like that. Only after you're assaulted.
Where people just like they're like, well, we're done with Richard Dawkins. And the stuff he said about, well, he said recently that he believes Christianity is fundamentally a decent religion.
He only is, oh my God, Richard Dawkins, first of all, sucks. He's a crazy, like, anti-science transphobe, which is weird being that he's a scientist. He knows anyway, he's like literally going against the consensus of scholarship in his own field with his anti-trans bullshit. Second of all, yeah, he just hates Muslims, dude. Like, he literally does. Like, that's why. Like, the reason he said that Christian is a quote unquote decent religion is because he just hates Muslims so much that he's like, in comparison, psychotic Christians are awesome. Which is weird because it's just like, he was like, I think Christianity is a much better. I can't do this. Never mind. I'm not even try to do a stupid accent. But like, he's just like basically comparing Christianity to Islam, and he's saying like, Christianity is so much better. I'd rather live in a Christian country because Christianity is better. Whatever, And then he's just saying like he likes the songs and stuff. Whatever, because he's familiar with it. It's the religion of the country that was raised in and everything. So obviously, but he doesn't like the different religion that wasn't the one that he was raised in. Anyway, but yeah, he's a dick.
Unlike Islam, which probably isn't all that fair, but also, like I said earlier, that doesn't exactly capture what he thinks, because he thinks the Bible is absolutely horrendous.
I know, it's kind of weird, right? It's weird that he's like, I think Christianity is decent, just because he's trying to say fuck you to Muslim people that much harder. That's all.
No better than the Quran or anything like that. But these are obviously very different worlds. The United States is one of the most deeply religious of the first world developed countries, OECD or whatever they're called. And yet, compared to a place like Afghanistan or Iran, those are absolute hellholes that nobody should want to live in. Sam Harris is pretty often accused of being an Islamophobe. And for somebody who I've never heard be able to articulate why Donald Trump is such a disgusting human being, for him to be lumped in with Donald Trump with respect.
What? Hold on. What? For someone that for someone that I've never heard be able to articulate why Trump is such a horrible, is that what he said?
Never heard be able to
Hold on. Oh, come on.
Hell holes that nobody should want to live in.
Oh, shit.
Sam Harris is pretty often
accused. I hope my internet stays strong. There's like a huge lightning storm outside, so I'm like, oh no, here it goes.
Islamophobe. And for somebody who I've never heard be able to articulate why Donald Trump is such a disgusting human being, for him to be lumped in with Donald Trump with respect to Islamophobia is just, it's really incredibly ironic.
I'm so confused right now. So you've never heard Sam Harris articulate why Trump is such a horrible human being, but you can't believe that he was lumped in with Trump as like being Islamophobic? Fucking what, man? What point? Okay, I maybe he misspoke or something, so I'm fucking lost.
Although I have a huge problem with something Sam Harris said recently. I watched an interview he did with Barry Weiss. Is kind of sort of a debate between him and Ben Shapiro, and Sam Harris said,
why the hell is he talking to Barry? Why? What is happening?
At this point, I'm to the right of John Bolton with regard to foreign policy. So he advocates for like regime change in Iran. And I was like, what in the actual fuck? Now, I say all this because I find it really bizarre and ironic that leftists will say things like America is an oppressive patriarchy. I hate this stupid fucking country. I hate America. Will blanket an entire group of people like white women and Mexicans as racist and sexist because they didn't vote for Kamala Harris in the same numbers that black women voted for Kamala Harris, for example.
Is that something that happens? Is that something that ever happened at all, anytime, anywhere, ever? Is it? Because I don't think it is. Yeah, they just paint them all, like the entire demographic, as racist. That's it, because they didn't vote for Kamala. Jesus Christ, come on, dude.
Leftists rightfully say that conservative Christianity is dangerous, but then they clutch their pearls when Sam Harris told Ben Affleck that Islam is the mother lode of bad ideas. I mean, holy shit, if America is as bad as we think it is, then Saudi Arabia is so much worse that it should just be publicly condemned. And for whatever reason,
that with the Ben Affleck thing, I don't know. Honestly, with that, I don't like the way, because it just comes off. It comes off really weird when you're like hyper focused on the religion that is, includes all the brown people, is the one that you're like, it's the mother lode of bad ideas. It just feels weird. And then like the way that they're just like, oh, they're so extra violent and everything, and it just happens to be the non-white religion that's the second most popular on the planet. It comes off racist, like it just does. You know what I mean? Like, so I don't know. I mean, I'm against religion, period. Right. I think that all religion gets stuff wrong because it's a bad it's bad reasoning all the way around, and it leads to violence all the way around. Doesn't matter if it's a white evangelical Christian. I mean, if you look at all of the like mass pures or whatever that we got that we've had throughout our past like 10-15 years, they like majority been far right wing evangelical Christians. That is just, I mean, I think it was like 2022, every single mass pure was a right wing Christian, every single one, if I'm not mistaken, or a far right extremist. I think that was the way they said it, because I think some of them were slightly different anyway. But yeah, it's absolutely a very violent religion. Religion in general leads to violence a lot of times because they are so crazy about their morality being like objective, and acting like they they're the ones that get to say what is absolutely right and absolutely wrong. And usually there's a lot of hate involved. I don't know. It's weird. It's weird how those two things coincide. But anyway, how's everybody doing? We doing okay? Feeling all good? I know. It's been a minute, and just been dealing with some stuff here. I haven't had as much time. How's everybody feeling? Feeling good? Who won today? Let me see here. Pandora's Pinata won. Pandora's Pinata just constantly wins. Oh, Viking politics. Is it Viking politics? I don't get the reference. Is Planet Peterson, is he a Viking? Maybe he is. I don't know. Could be. Let's see. And who was second? PC. How you doing, Pragmatic Crystal? Doing all right? The Planet Peterson is problematic. Thank you, Bentley, for calling it out. Yeah, I didn't know that. Honestly, I didn't realize. Most of the stuff that I'd seen of his was him not talking about politics. And the one thing that I saw him do where he actually talked about politics was this debate with that douchebag, whatever weirdo, which was just, I wanted to pull my eyes and ears off just that entire time, that entire 5 hours that stupid debate was going on. I was like, oh my God, this is the worst debate I feel like I've ever seen. It's just poor, just a shit job on all sides. Okay. Nobody did good. And we were all losers that day. You know what I mean? Planet Peterson was a loser. The other weird douchebag guy, he was a loser. Everybody was. Anyway, but thank you. Yeah, like, share, subscribe. Appreciate that. Yeah, if you want to hit the like button, I'd appreciate it. Anyway, who else we got? Who was third? Amber was third. How you doing, Amber? Oh yeah, thanks for hanging out. This is awesome. All right, let's see who else we got here. We've got Anarchic Fox. What's going on? Anarchic is always close to the top too as well. We got, let's hit 8 folks. We got Guitar Dog. Hey, Guitar Dog, how you doing? Doing all right? Hellbound Hillbilly, what's up? Burns, as usual. What's up? We've got JIL. Hey, JIL. Doing all right? Oh, we got a Twitcher. Hey, what's going on? From Twitch. Cool. Hell yeah. Let's see what else we got here. We got Kent. Hey, Kent. Said nobody cares what Dawkins says and thinks on any topic. Yeah. I think that's where we've all developed to at this point. Yeah, I think you're right. Kari. Hey, Kari. So I feel bad for that guy. He looks like Jimmy Bobby. You can't have two. You can't be Jimmy and Bobby. That doesn't work. That Raymer said, I'm a proud atheist. I don't give a flying about religion, period. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, I'm a proud atheist as well. Agreed, sir. Agreed. Who else we got here? I do have like a thing in my throat, so I apologize if I'm coughing a lot. Been dealing with that for a little bit. Try to do it away from the microphone. Did I just do a Raymer Biggs one? Oh, Tons of Bites is here. What's up, dude? Doing all right? Said I'd vote for a broken toaster before I'd vote for Trump. Yeah, I always say a potato, but yeah, broken toasters work too. It's like at least I can eat a potato, and at least we can make toast. Local leftist, what's going on, dude? So wait, why is Planet Peterson problematic? Because I don't know. I guess he said some stuff that's problematic. This is the first time, like I said, this is the first time I've seen of him saying stuff about politics. I don't really know much about his politics, but when I do find out stuff like this about content creators and their politics, I try to address it, at least so we all know what we're dealing with. You know what I mean? And you can disagree with them, you can stay, whatever. I don't judge people for not judging other people or whatever, but I'll decide for myself whether I want to stay subscribed or not. You know what I mean? Let's see. Jeez. Got Bree. Hey Bree. What's going on? Oh yeah. What else we got here? All right. I think we're all caught up. All right, there we go.
That just makes you a xenophobe. Yeah, it's correct that not all Muslims support that type of thing. It's also the case that not every American, even not every American.
Yeah, just like not every Christian is a psycho, like Mass Pew Pure, but a bunch of them are. A bunch of the Mass Pew Pures are Christian, right? And also have violent rhetoric. I'm just looking like Nick Fuentes and people like that. Like they have. Like everybody that is like considered a far right neo-Nazi, they're all Christian. Just saying.
And who voted Republican is as bad as somebody like Jerry Falwell Jr. or what's his name, Mike Huckabee. If Islam isn't the reason women and gays live in oppression and misery in these, majority Islamic countries, well, then Christianity also isn't the reason women are having their rights taken away in America. But almost nobody pretends that isn't the case. We paint with broad strokes here, and there's nothing wrong with that because people that know how to think know that we're not saying it's all people are the same if they're on that side. But for whatever reason, you can't be careful enough when attacking these ideas in other parts of the world. It's just weird. And I'm not saying it's as simple as Islam is fundamentally bad, but that's how I feel about Christianity. But
yeah,
obviously,
I would just say religion, period. Like I think religion is fundamentally harmful. There are people that can do it without being harmful, but that's kind of like an outlier. You know what I mean? And it doesn't matter the religion, really.
neither religion is blameless. So because new atheism was never a real thing, I feel like its values were dictated to it, and people felt like it didn't hold up to those values, which I think that's 100% false. But people kind of said, I'm not part of new atheism anymore. I mean, I feel like if Richard Dawkins went on Twitter right now and said, well, men can't be pregnant, let's stop being silly, I feel like everybody under the age of 25 would start saying atheism is transphobic. Remember, Mexicans overnight
He does say that a lot. So if people haven't started saying that atheism is transphobic, then that's not something leftists would say, because he does say that, because he's a transphobe.
Became racist because they voted 55% for Kamala Harris instead of 65% like they did with Biden.
Wait, hold on. What did he say?
Mexicans overnight became racist because they voted 55% for Kamala Harris instead of 65% like they did with Biden. I see this politicization of
they became racist. People said that Mexicans became racist. Is that what? Okay, because the demographics changed. Okay, sure. I mean, there's plenty of instances of them being anti-black racists, that you can point to, because anti-blackness is universal for some fucking reason. I don't know why. Everybody wants their place on the pecking order or some shit. I don't know. They're like, I'm at least better than those people. I don't know. But yeah, there's a lot of racism there. Also, there's just a whole bunch of conservative values or whatever values in Mexican culture and everything. So I don't know. I don't know if I would say like, oh, Mexicans are racist because of the demographics that we can see from the voting pattern. Whatever. I don't know if I would do that. And I feel like I've never heard any, like, what leftists you're talking about. Like, I always want to know, like, can you show me, like, where did you get this? Because fucking get off Twitter. I don't know what to tell you. Jesus Christ.
Atheism happening in places like kind of like The Line, which I don't watch The Line. I see clips every now and then, but I went there after the election to see what was like being.
What's up, Motley Vaughn? How you doing? It's good to see you.
Talked about or said, and it's become a complete joke. The only litmus test for atheism that I was aware of was, do you believe in God? But if you can't be a member of The Line unless you pledge leftist ideas, well, then congratulations. Did
you just get rejected from The Line? Did Jimmy also like, I don't like that guy? Is that what it was? Like you got rejected? You got your and now you're angry at The Line. Okay. First of all, I feel like we need to understand what The Line is. The Line is Jimmy Snow's organization. That it's his. He's the ultimate decider of whoever goes on there. And because it's a business that he runs, that he makes money off of, and has his name literally stamped on the ownership of, he's not going to have people on there if he disagrees with them to a degree that he would think would be like spreading harmful shit on a call-in show, where the whole thing is to like convince people to be better, convince people to think better, convince people to be more empathetic, stuff like that. And yeah, he's a leftist. It's like, but it's his show, dude. Like, and The Line isn't atheism. So it's just weird to act like The Line, like it's because they're not atheist enough if they can't get on The Line. Like, you're conflating so many weird things together that just don't make any sense.
Became a secular religion with your own commandments, saying you can't laugh at Dave Chappelle or Tony Hinchcliffe jokes. That's just another example of.
I don't even know who the hell Tony Hinchcliffe. I don't know the Tony one. Dave Chappelle. I mean, he's just not funny, first of all. Since, I don't know. I mean, he used to be really funny, but then he stopped when he got lazy as fuck. Just decided to start sitting down on the stage and bitching about shit he doesn't understand. That's when you're like, oh, okay, he's just not funny anymore. But he got such a big head that he's like, I can do anything and it'll make people laugh. And then no, it doesn't. Sucks. You just hate trans people, man. That's it. But yeah, if you laugh at Dave Chappelle like that, I don't judge people based on whether they laugh at jokes. If they're going to sit there and be like, oh, he's not a problem, it's not a problem, the stuff that Dave Chappelle said, yeah, then I'd be, then I'd say you're a problem. but okay.
blasphemy and graven images. And I know exactly what Fat Dave Chappelle or Tony Hinchcliffe jokes. That's just another example of blasphemy and graven images. And I know
no, it's just having standards, man, and then just people just see. This is like when just it's blasphemy. No, man, it's just people being honest about what they think about others. Like, welcome to the fucking internet. Why is everybody so new to the internet? Like, they're like, oh, but people think stuff, and then they say the stuff they think, and they're like, that's there must be blasphemy because some people said that they didn't like that they said stuff. It's like, welcome to the fucking internet. Like, people just say what they believe and say what they don't like, and some people have standards, and we all kind of go, yeah, those are decent standards to have, seeing as how those people are transphobic.
I know exactly what somebody would respond to this. They'd be like, well, if that's a religion, then so is Peterson. Like, if you're a classical liberal, which I don't consider myself one, but whatever. Well, you just think that like government's a religion too. No, government is not a secular religion. Governments, they have laws.
It's funny. Local Left said, I don't know. I don't know. I understand exactly what Peterson is saying here. I don't think he's wrong. I also don't really care if the line is doing it. Are we talking in reference to the line? Yeah, I don't really care either. Because again, that's just Jimmy Snow's opinion, and he likes to make sure the people that he props up, because you got to remember, it gets like thousands and thousands of views. So if he allows somebody on that platform, and then he could literally like build somebody up and get them to be popular. And if he does that to somebody who's got harmful views and stuff, well, then that would be back on him, and then he would be feeling the all of that, the weight of all of that. So it makes good sense that he's very particular about who he lets on the line, especially as it applies to their politics, but whatever.
But that's not the same thing as like commandments and purity tests, because like the United States guarantees that you are an American with the same rights as everybody else, like no matter what you believe. The reason I'm critical of leftism, and again, let me repeat this. People who are who consider themselves lefties would probably consider me one too.
I always thought he was one. I didn't know that he didn't consider himself a leftist, but all right.
I just don't call myself that because there are just certain elements like what I'm talking about in this video that I don't agree with, even though down the line on the issues, what I think politically we should like laws that I would like to see changed, for example, or like new laws being enacted or rights being enshrined, like constitution or whatever, I probably agree with almost all of them. So anyways, the reason I'm critical of what I see leftism being is because, for one, sometimes it's funny. And if you can't take a joke, then that's on you. Sometimes it's irrational, which is what I criticize.
What is funny? What is it? Sometimes it's funny. What is funny?
I probably agree with almost all of them. So anyways, the reason I'm critical of what I see leftism being is because, for one, sometimes it's funny. And if
just leftism is funny. Okay.
If you can't take a joke, then that's on you. Sometimes it's irrational, which is what
I wish you would clarify some of this shit. What? Like, it's like sometimes it's funny, and if you can't take a joke, well, then that's on you. Okay. Yeah. I feel like I've heard like Nazis say exactly that same type of shit. I'm not saying he's a Nazi, but I'm just saying like, oh, you just can't take a joke. Okay. So I'm just making fun of your entire race and culture and everything. But you just get over it. Get over it. You know what I mean? Like I'm not, it's just, if you can't take a joke, then fuck it. Come on, dude. Like that's not how anything works.
Criticize like man v bear.
Seriously, depends what. Oh my God, really?
Funny. And if you can't take a joke, then
I should have waited 4 seconds for him to clarify. It's just like, oh, that's funny.
That's on you. Sometimes it's irrational, which is what I criticize, like man v bear, for example. What does that look like? It looks like me, a person who thinks Harrison Butker is a disgrace of a person and should shut the fuck up and he's an idiot. I think that, and I think that misandrists who see a man in the forest as a rapist are also illogical idiots who should shut the fuck up.
Oh my good God. Wow. Way to completely miss the fucking point of the whole man versus bear thing. Jesus, dude. Like, and you're like, he's into science and stuff. Like, you think, like, the data is so solid, man. Like, and the whole point of this whole thought experiment or whatever is if a woman is walking in the woods, in the forest, whatever, and she sees a man or a bear, like, which one would she be more afraid of, right? Just given what those two creatures are and what they've done and what they could be, right? Logically speaking, if we're talking about like a person, bears do bear stuff. Okay. Bears have never tortured people for fun. That's not a thing a bear's done. You know, if you corner them, they bite you. You know, they will. If you, I think they might be territorial. I don't know, but you know, you can probably play dead, whatever. But men have like literally kidnapped and tortured people for fun, just because that's what they want to do. You know, they're. I mean, look, there's Dahmer's a person that exists. Name me one bear that's Dahmer fucking level, dude. Like, this is data that is just there. That's just obvious. Like, that's just, you know what I mean? You don't have to think about, and it's just like what it could be. That's the idea. Like, which one of these things could be worse, right? The bear could just wander off, you know, or it could attack you, right? The man could just walk on by. It's not a big deal. Or he could be a serial killer that's a psychotic nutbag that wants to torture you and make your genitals into a fucking lamp. Okay. That's just like what the data said. Like, it's a fucking risk analysis and it makes so much sense. And then men are just objectively more dangerous than bears. Like, that's why we're on top of the fucking food chain and they're not, because we're more dangerous. Anyway, Jesus Christ, dude, come on.
But probably the main thing, which is something I almost never talk about, is because leftists are espousing ideas that are catastrophically dangerous and actually in no way liberal. You can't say I'm on the far left and then have ideas that are completely counter to what liberalism is. So, for example, the two biggest ones.
What is it? I don't. What do you mean by liberal? Like what? Okay. Well, I guess we'll get into this. What was it? Just damn. I was just reading. Oh, here it is. Anarchy Fox said bears are not territorial with humans. They are pretty chill and usually flee from people. See, yeah. I made a lot of bears in my neighborhood. Oh yeah. You talk to, you give them a fist bump. You're like, hey, bear. There he is again. What's going on, dude? How you doing? What are you getting into? Some honey? Yeah, honey. Yeah. Just don't get stuck in that tree. You know what I mean? Oh man. All right. Good to see you, bud.
Are like hate speech and disinformation. So I think that hate speech is a useful framework for discussing certain things that are said. And
Wait, what? I'm sorry. Anarchic threw me off with the bear thing.
Like
what?
Hate speech and disinformation. So I think that hate speech is a useful framework for discussing certain things that are said. Okay. And I used to repeat the mantra, hate speech isn't free speech and that sort of thing. But then I saw how it was weaponized and I realized I had a massive blind spot. So, for example, if you say Donald Trump's deportation plan is like Nazi Germany, that is not hate speech. If you go to a college campus and say that, you can't be fined, you can't be arrested, the government can't take action against you. However, it is now considered hate speech to say what Israel is doing in Gaza is like Nazi Germany. This is it was something Anti-Semitism Awareness Act. It was passed earlier this year.
Oh, well, yeah, but that's just good. Yeah, okay. But I mean, this is good, which is really weird that they're doing this. Whether basically like taking you know, the like left-leaning sensitivities and like trying to basically flip it and say that you can't criticize Israel at all without, you know, being labeled an anti-Semite. But that's because this is a propagandist rhetoric that's just being put down in the law. I don't think that that's a reason to be like against talking about hate speech or against calling things hate speech. Like, oh, because they can misuse it. They're gonna misuse it. That's absolutely gonna happen. You just need to be ready for that type of stuff and be ready to like draw the distinction and like how and make the arguments as to why the distinction is where it is. But like to say that like, oh, it's not hate speech is not a useful like diagram, whatever, like it's not useful anymore because people have misused it. So therefore, we should stop saying it. It's like no, then you've let them win totally, dude. You know what I mean?
Can you imagine right wingers making what us liberals say illegal? Do you want to live in that world? If you legislatively open up definitions to try and criminalize what you don't want to hear, then guess what? People will do that to you. And I get it.
I know it's a complicated issue. Okay. But like when it comes to something like, first of all, are people saying that it should be illegal to say stuff? Because I don't think anybody's saying that. They're basically what people are saying is that they should be able to have the consequences that you would have from saying, you know, racist stuff or whatever, and having people know that you said that racist stuff publicly or whatever. So you get like whatever public social consequences would be for that. A lot of times losing jobs and stuff like that. And then just being publicly shamed online and everything. But nobody's, as far as I know, nobody's saying that we should like ban racism, even the worst shit. We're not going to arrest you for it. You know what I mean? You just can't say it in public spaces and not expect to be like doxxed and kicked out of your job or whatever, like the consequences that we can get out of it. That's what we're going to do. But nobody's saying it should be illegal, as far as I know.
Overwhelming persuasiveness of this goes something like this. We're only trying to ban Nazis. How hard can that be? You can't possibly screw that up. Well, guess what? The other side will call you a Nazi for
yeah, and like I said, hearing what he is saying now shows me he has a few massive blind spots he's still unaware of. Yeah, yeah.
supporting Palestinians. That's how it.
I almost feel like, and I feel like this happens a lot of times with people that are trying really hard to like project how objective they are. They're like, you know what I mean? They're like, oh no, I'm so objective that I don't even like the far left. Like I'm critical of the left and the right. I don't like the leftists either. Yet, and they don't ever seem to really understand that this is just like a mechanism for right wingers to like get them to inch to the right without realizing it. Like, oh look, I'm so like objective that I even think, almost like the TYT issue, you know what I mean? Whether I even think that like the trans people in sports is an issue that we need to actually talk about it, and it's like, I'm even critical of that, see, because I'm objective, right? No, you're just being manipulated by the right, dipshit. That's what's happening, okay? And you're too dumb to fucking get that. It's okay to be on an actual side. You can actually be you can be on that side and still be rational, reasonable, and everything. And I'd argue that you kind of need to be on that side in order to be those things. But just because you don't agree with the right at all doesn't mean that you're being brainwashed by propaganda on the left. That's what they try to get you to think.
It gets screwed up. There was another thing that this was a couple of years ago, but Biden tried to form it was an advisory board to the Department of Homeland Security, and it was called the Disinformation Governance Board.
Yeah, that's crazy. What's up, Andrew? How you doing, man? So you haven't seen heavy set hairy guys this year? Is that you? You're a heavy set hairy guy? I am like the opposite of that. I'm like a thinny set hairless guy. Yeah. It's just right here is all I got. And I'm even losing the stuff on my head. So it's,
And a lot of people cheerleaded this. Oh, finally, now Trump and Rogan and Alex Jones and Elon Musk and all those liars will now be censored. Yeah, except now Donald Trump is going to be president. Can you?
Okay. Yeah. No, I get that. So because they can misuse it. Ember said Trump has an actual list of hundreds of banned words. You may or may not be arrested by the Gestapo for using them, or they might be the justification for your arrest. So, yeah, they're kind of Trump's they're doing it anyway. That's always what I gotta say. Like they're just gonna do that stuff. You know what I mean? And we need to like fight against that and remove as much of their power as possible. But I feel like we need some kind of department of misinformation. But the problem is it needs to be independent and unable to be swayed by billions of dollars, because it will be, otherwise. And that's what makes this whole thing fucking difficult, right? But yeah, because I feel like we now with this AI shit, and holy shit, we're going to be in some shit very soon here. It's going to be like a literal, like the Dark Ages 2.0. Now we have too much information, so much information, in fact, that 90% of it's bullshit. It's just they cranked up the bullshit to like outweigh the true stuff, And so now we're right back at the fucking Dark Ages. Like we might as well just like get rid of the internet entirely, because you're going to know what is true just as much if the internet never existed pretty soon here. Anyway, Jesus Christ.
You imagine a worse person to
Hey, Drusilla, how's it going?
grant the Department of Homeland Security authorization to go after disinformation? That's horrendous. That's exactly the opposite of what you want. Now, luckily that board was—
Oh, I got you. Okay. Andrew said, no, it's a conversation with Kari about not seeing any bears. I got it. I got you there. Because bears are the heavy set. Here we go. I got it. I know. No, I know the things. Okay. Yeah, I know. And a twink is okay. I don't know the things, but I know the bear one. That one I feel like is pretty obvious. Actually, it's pretty easy to deduce what you're talking about there. But anyway,
was never actually created. So, Donald Trump would have to start all over with this idea. But if you're against him doing it, then you need to be against using it against them too. That's just simply how it works. I'm sorry. The way I always viewed atheism was reject.
See, I don't know, because you're basically just like saying we can't have truth if somebody else can mess with it or whatever. Like, I don't know. This is where I just get like, just gets like you just want to pull your fucking hair out because you're like, look, they're just gonna lie, man. And yeah, if we had like a Department of Truth or some shit, yeah, they would misuse it, but that doesn't mean that the good guys can't use it, right? So I don't know, man. God damn it.
Religion and religious like
The Department of Truth, the DOT, you know what I mean?
Beliefs of things like purity and sanctity, labeling others who think differently as not just incorrect about things, but like
Math pigs over here wiggling again. God damn it. Making everybody, you're freaking everybody out with your naked ass wiggling. God damn.
Morally wrong, a rejection of tribalism, all those sorts of things. Now, in place of that, I try to embrace more rational ways of thinking. I read books about cognitive biases by people like incredibly boring books by people like Daniel Kahneman. I pay attention not just to what people are saying, but how you get from believing in thing A to spewing out thing B. And in my debate videos, maybe you notice I try to do that as often as I can. The whole internet atheism thing, being a sect of leftism, I feel like that betrays everything about what being an atheist has always been like for me. I think atheism belongs with liberal philosophy. Like of course, if you're an atheist, you're probably going to adhere.
Like what? Who? That's so weird. Like saying atheism is a sect of leftism. What the fuck? No, it's not. What are you talking about? Like, it's not a sect of left. There are, okay, my goodness. Like, atheism, again, is like just people that aren't convinced of a single claim. Does a God exist? They say no. Whether they're convinced that God doesn't exist, or yada, yada, and everything in between, right? So that's it. There's fucking right-wing atheists, dude. There's, I'm trying to think of what it was called, Atheists for Liberty or some stupid shit. And they are right-wing. It's a right-wing atheist group. Thankfully, they're not very big. They're not very popular. Thank fuck. And mainly because a lot of the right wing uses every manipulation thing they can think of to get people, believing their stupid bullshit. And atheists, most of the time, can see through that type of thing. You know what I mean? But that's why I think more atheists do land on the leftist side of the spectrum. But it's not a sect of leftism. That is just, that's silly. It's just, I think that a lot of us just happen to see, or happen to see other people just as other people, and we can embrace people that are different without judgment. Like, we're kind of just like judge free because we left that world behind when we were leaving religion. If you're somebody that left religion behind, because again, that's not even all atheists. So it's to say that it's all this thing, all that thing, it's the atheists are all leftists because of the line. Like, my goodness, this is just so silly in so many ways.
To left-leaning ideas, not just politically, but like liberal philosophy, like I said. But
what the fuck
this shit is?
What the hell is liberal philosophy? What does he mean by that? Does he mean just like what, being able to do stuff, being free to do things? Is that what he means?
Like becoming stupid. Leftists view a man in the forest. I already talked about this, but leftists view a man in the forest in exactly the same way that Trump described Mexicans coming across our border, rapists and murderers. If you can't see how just labeling a person that way is sexist, and
if you can't see that your own fifis are clearly getting in the way of your ability to reason here, because again, the whole thing with the man v bear like situation, not the ape one, not the man v ape, that was a totally different thing. I don't even know how we got to that one, but the man v bear thing, which is a woman sees either a bear or a man in the woods, likely creepily. Like, that's how I just picture, like, just a man just standing there. You know what I mean? Just creepy, just right. You walk by like, fuck, why is that guy so creepy? Just standing there in the way. Like, which one's worth? Would you rather a bear standing at you just staring, or a man just standing there just staring? Well, if you're a woman, you probably rather the fucking bear, because again, there's never been a bear serial killer that enjoys hurting people for fun. That is like kidnapped, tortured, whatever. That has happened thousands and thousands of times with men, and if you know how popular like grape actually is, like how often it actually happened. Not popular, that's a way wrong way to say that, but how frequent it happens a hell of a lot more than you're acting like it does. And then saying that you're the one internalizing that, man. You're the one internalizing, oh, they're just calling all men rapists and murderers or whatever. No, they're not. They're just saying it's a risk analysis. And the data is pretty fucking solid as to why that one is a higher risk. But whatever. Jesus Christ.
Exactly the same way that saying 13% of the population commits 50% of the murders. Therefore, blacks are inherently more violent and racist. And if I see one, I'm just going to assume that. Well, then you've lost your critical thinking skills in the idea of some weird identity politics that has become your new religion. And again, this comes from somebody who I actually don't know what any of
That
my
is insane to compare those two things. That is insane to compare that to that. What the fuck, man? They're talking about a woman alone in the wood. Like, I feel like he's not thinking about any of the fucking context here. Alone in the woods, okay? A woman by herself in the woods, bear, or creepy man. They're probably gonna, yeah, I'd take the bear. Shit, I'll take the fucking bear. I don't know if they want to, maybe they're a Dahmer type. They like going after guys or whatever. Was it Dahmer? I always mix him up with the other one. Or the Bundy. I always mix up Dahmer and Bundy. Which one was the one that did guys? Anyway, one of them did guys. And maybe it's like him. I don't know. But I'm just saying, some creepy dude and you're alone off in the forest. I get it.
right-wing beliefs are. The only thing that people sometimes say is right-wing about me is that I'm not a socialist, which you don't have to be right-wing that's not a right-wing idea. I also think that the United States is a fundamentally good place to live. Does that make me a Republican? So instead of complaining, do I have any recommendations?
Okay. I mean, I don't care if you say you're a socialist or not. I know plenty of people, that are on the left that would not describe themselves as socialist. And you're saying that's the only, but it's not though, because clearly you're almost with like this incel type of shit with that fucking the misandry, which is, if anybody's not familiar, misandry is like misogynist but against men. It's like, no, fuck, which is hilarious given his reasoning. Wow. No, man, no.
What would I like to see be
You're
done different?
providing all the evidence that we need that you are not right. I wouldn't say right wing, but more right than I think you think.
Differently? Well, I'm not really in the business of telling people what to do. I don't care if people are lefty atheists. In fact,
What's up, Bomb Poppy? How we doing? It's good to see you.
Leftists, they say things that are incredibly based and unintentional.
Oh, John Lincoln. Yeah, he was bad too. And he was a clown. Do you know that? Freaky. What the fuck?
Hilarious at times. I don't have a problem necessarily with it. I just want people to think rationally, and I think the way you fix that.
This work gets dumb, dude. It's like that's just people being people. Yeah, there are people on the left or whatever that people would describe as like far leftist that are annoying. That is just a fact. Yes, and you're gonna get that no matter what. They're like, oh, there's the annoying leftist. I'll still take the annoying leftist over the dangerous fucking sociopathic right-wing nut job any fucking day. Like the farthest, if you go like far right, you get literal fucking violent Nazis. If you go far, far, far left, you get people that are so concerned with other people's experiences that they say, don't clap at the convention because that'll set somebody's PTSD off. You got to just do snaps, which is hilarious but adorable. And I'd much rather be around those people than the people that are like, you're all too fucking sensitive. I'm going to say any Nazi shit I want, and you got to shut up, man. Like that's so much. Anyway.
My recommendation would be to stop making being an atheist a political movement and stop with the fucking purity testing. I mean, Jesus Christ. I'm getting accused of turning into Pine Creek, a guy who thinks Kamala Harris is a communist. That guy's a fucking moron.
I did not know that about Pine Creek. That is quite funny though. Yeah, I could see that. That guy's an idiot.
You want to hear something though?
But my point was, and to just back to what I was saying a second ago, you're always going to have some people that take stuff too far or whatever, or like are annoying because they're trying, they go, that's it. They go too far. They think they see a thing and they're like, oh, and then they go like too hard with it or whatever, and they end up being annoying and weird and shit like that, like those people that will like what is it, like those people that sit there and like interrupt the black people like on a panel and talk about how not racist they are and how whatever, they try to like out anti-racist the other black people on the panel and stuff like that, like where they just take it to this annoying stupid degree. That's always going to exist no matter what side of the political spectrum you're on, right? And yeah, they're on the left too, okay, but that doesn't mean that that's like all the left is about. Like in when I say the left, I mean like leftists, like far left leftists, whatever you would call it.
Blow your mind. There are gay liberal Democrats who fly pride flags, who support trans people, and who don't agree down the line with every single popular leftist take on, for example, trans issues. And these people, they're just no different than Jordan Peterson.
I do hear that same argument on the right. There's gay people that are even anti-trans. They're slowing this whole thing down. And really, they're just rehashing Dave Chappelle's dumb fucking car analogy that was just idiotic and tone deaf and just didn't like, it was just something he didn't understand at all trying to talk about shit. But whatever. It's funny because trans people have been there for everybody since the beginning. If you look at like the Stonewall riots and all that type of shit, a lot of that came out of the trans activists from that day. So trans folks were there for you if you're a gay man that's anti-trans because they're slowing stuff down too much or whatever, but you can't be there for them. But whatever.
Aren't they? If you, and I would hope you do, want to win over people's minds, if you want to win the culture war, and if we want to start being political winners instead of political losers, then you need to stop making your club as hard as possible to join. You don't accomplish.
Yeah, there's the trans that exactly. Breeze, like, oh, there's the transphobia apology. Yep. I knew we were gonna. He's breezing over it as quick as he possibly can, but yeah, that's where it was right there. Yep.
Any of those goals by being small in number. How could you possibly think that
what? Oh, I'm sorry, I'm missing
the culture war? And if we want to start being political winners instead of political losers, then you need to stop making your club as hard as possible to join. You don't accomplish any of those goals.
It's not a fucking club, man. This is weird. This is like the weirdest way to describe like leftism, whatever. Like it's just has standards or whatever. And those standards are don't be a piece of shit to people that are different and vulnerable and are being mistreated as a political power like gaining tool, and yet that's, saying that is just too much. You're just, oh man, you're slowing us down. We want to be political winners. Like this is literally the fucking TYT argument that, oh, I'm just saying we need to win more political elections and everything. Well, that, I mean, look at the, and I know this was 8 months ago or whatever, but like you see the way that things are going down in New York, right? Looks like we're going to have a very progressive mayor of New York. We're not. I'm in Florida. We're never going to have a progressive mayor, but whatever. But in New York, they're definitely going progressive. There is a lot more progressive people out there, I think, than a lot of these centrists realize. Because we need to stop trying to fucking appeal to the damn center. It hasn't worked ever. Like, let's just do shit right. From the left, but whatever.
By being small in number. How could you possibly think that it would be anything other than that case? And what I don't mean by that is the other annoying thing is like, oh, you're just a centrist. No, I'm actually not. I don't mean start being.
According to what? Because like this is where it gets irritating. It's like if you're talking about in America and you say you're a centrist, or if other people even call you a centrist, typically that means you're on the right by like quite a lot, actually, because the way the politics are structured planet-wide are so different than the way they're structured here in America, where everything is so skewed to the damn right. It's insane.
Being friends with people like Liz Cheney. I mean, like,
see, she's a Republican. Like it. Fucking shit. Did it work? Oh, it broke. Okay, it came back. Fuck. I was like, I shouldn't have touched. Is the internet working? Damn storm. All right. Sorry. All right. Just double checking, making sure I'm back. Can you all hear me? Is it going? Well, gee, guys, maybe saying human rights are rights for all humans is asking a bit too much. Golly gee.
I just mean settle the fuck down and stop doing shit like, well, this person isn't inclusive enough and their name ends with K. So now whenever I spell their name online, I'm going to put 3 Ks at the end of it. Let's say the reason
You're always complaining about it's fucking Twitter. Get off Twitter, man. Now, just get off Twitter. Elon has gotten to your brain, dude. Like the troll bots are working again. Because you spell their name with a K at the end because they're not inclusive enough. Go fucking cry. Oh my god. What the hell? Get off Twitter, man. Take a break. Take a break.
Kamala Harris lost the election is because America is too racist and sexist, which is idiotic, but we can pretend that that's true. Then
what the fuck do you think is the reason she lost? I mean, lost by so much, even though she had so much momentum. There's definitely some racism. Have you not talked to anybody? My God, like there's so many people that will just blatantly state that they don't think a woman should lead, and blatantly state that they definitely don't want a black woman to lead. Like, this is not a crazy thing to think. It's pretty fucking obvious. Jesus, what?
We shouldn't have nominated her, shouldn't we? There should have been a primary so that we could have gotten boring ass straight white male Gavin Newsom.
So you're admitting it right here. You just admitted it. You said it's so stupid, but like, okay, so I guess he's saying this is what we should have done if that were the case, but I'm pretty sure you'd know that he would have won. So you're saying, okay,
in there, because he would have won the election. But I'm
why would he have won? Why is it because he's what?
Pretty confident in that. Now, would that just
so you are pretty confident that the white man would win, but it's not because he's a white man, though. You just should have had a white man because he might have won.
Simply reinforce the idea that we actually are sexist and racist.
It sounds like it is. Like it sounds like that's kind of what you're doing right now.
Okay, go with
he caught himself. Shit. Okay, fuck. I mean, hold on. Wait. Did I just go against my own point that I just made? I did just go against my own point that I just
that. It would also mean that whoever retires from the Supreme Court in the next 4 years will be appointed by somebody other than Donald Trump. Isn't that exactly what we all want? You know, instead of
okay, good. Thank you, Kari, for answering me on that. I know my internet's like being funky because of this damn electrical storm. Holy shit, these things have cranked up this year. My God. As someone, who lives like pretty close to the equator, given like what country we live in, I can see climate change happening, like just blatantly. But anyway.
Dying for what you believe in, politically speaking, settle for what's not perfect, but not a disaster, which would include doing things like not telling half the country that it's their fault Donald Trump is president and that they're bad people. Because
what the fuck? What are you talking about, man? Like, wait, we can't tell half. Are you saying the people that voted for Trump? Because that would be half the country, right? Is that what you're talking about? And we can't say that it's their fault, even though they voted for Trump and that they're bad people? But they are. They are bad people. What the fuck do you want?
Why would they join your side and do politically what our goal is next time?
Do you seriously think, oh my God, like this is those like type, if I could just sit down and talk to people, and just provide a very reasonable argument, then it will totally change somebody's mind. No, it won't, dude. Like I'm not saying that we shouldn't try that or whatever and do our best, but we need to stop appealing to trying to appeal to the right for fucking anything. Okay, they're gone. They're lost. Okay, we need to start like just putting through leftist policy and stop trying to appeal to the center because it's gotten us nothing but bullshit.
You're making the club harder to get into. Am I being super pessimistic? Does atheism have a bright future? Because I think the truth is irresistible. Yeah, I'm actually not all that pessimistic of a person. So
What?
The last thing I just wanted to say was, who do I think? What direction do I think? Well, not really what direction do I think atheism is going to go in, but who do I view as the new leaders of atheism? Because Hitchens and Dennett are dead. Richard Dawkins will be dead in just a few years, and he's really not putting out a lot of content or anything like that. Sam Harris will be around for a really long time, but I think
Bree said, let him go on about how we need to abandon the trans people and kneel to his demographic. Yeah, exactly. I mean, that is the thing. They're always just like, okay, but why do other people matter so much though? Like, it's just like the people that get mad about Disney being too woke or whatever. And they're like, man, all these new movies have like black people in them and stuff. And they're not like apologetic about it, not just acting like another white character, but just happen to be black. They're not doing that. They're like actually black or whatever, like they're culturally black and everything. And it's like, they go, oh, well, what happened? It's not fair. Like, there's like no white people in the movies anymore. There's not, they're not showing our culture. And it's like, holy shit, you get that like black people weren't allowed to be in fucking movies until what? Like 20, 30 years ago. Like, come on, holy shit. They were only allowed to be in movies if they were a woman and had a little thing wrapped around her head and were the maid of the household or whatever. That was it. That's all they were allowed to be in fucking movies. But yeah, anyway. And then you also got like all the Avengers and everything were all like, anyway, never mind. Fucking Jesus Christ.
The torch is getting passed. I don't really have too much to say about this because this video is already going to be about half an hour long or so. But
yeah, it's too long, buddy. Okay, you could have summarized this stuff quite easily, but whatever.
I think the new faces of this atheism thing online and also like in public, I think Alex O'Connor is by far the figurehead for this because he's just so incredibly articulate and he's not getting bogged down.
Thank you, Michael. Why do we need leaders? Is that a thing? Is that a thing we need? As no masters. It's kind of my thing. You know what I mean?
With the politics, he has strong opinions on
other than, in the bedroom. And if you want to please your master in the bedroom, just go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item. 6 free. I totally forgot to do that. 6 free. 3 free gifts and free shipping on the whole order. Go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley. Yeah, get your butt some stuff from adamandeve.com. Yeah, I forgot. I'm supposed to be doing. I got too into this one. That's I'm having to think too much. Maybe that's what the problem is. We need something dumb after this.
And things like free speech, and he defends it, but he's. I just more so think what he's doing is really excellent, and that includes
that like he's on Christian shows more than he's on anybody else's types of show. Like he's just friends with all the Christians and they're all just believing that they're getting him to think Christian things more and more, but whatever. I think I enjoy hearing him debate and stuff and have the conversation. I think that he tries to really get to people and reach people, and maybe that's good. Maybe all of those fundies or whatever, like hearing the Alex O'Connor go on their favorite channels and say why their beliefs are unreasonable. Maybe that's a good thing. Maybe that'll change some minds. I don't know. But yeah, but as far as I don't really even know much of Alex O'Connor's politics at all. So yeah, I honestly don't know. I feel like he doesn't talk about that at all, which is kind of a problem in a lot of ways. But I don't know. Maybe he thinks that doing it this way, he'll attack the root of the problem. And that was kind of my whole perspective for a long time. Is if you get rid of religion causes a lot of the other harmful things. But I don't know as if that's true anymore. I don't know. It's something I've been giving a lot of thought to lately. But anyway,
the things like talking to people like Jordan Peterson and other.
Buddy Phil Burt, what's going on, dude? What's up, Bert? I'm just kidding. I'll call you Phil. I won't do that to you. I won't do like the Topher for Chris. Do you have like a friend named Chris that you call Topher? Like, what's up, Topher? And they're like, what? You know, because like Chris Topher, Christopher, you know, just going with the end. It's like Phil Burt, call him Bert.
There's who we don't like, but you have
it's my good pal Bert
to do that. I should have. There's this other big criticism about, you know, when you platform people, that's bad and they should be kicked off social media. No, you have to, those people have to be in the same.
Who, man? Who should be kicked off of social media? And what the fuck? How do you even do that? How do you get them just kicked off of all of the social media? Just the whole thing, all of them. What? Who is saying this, dude? Jesus.
Ecosystem that we're in, because that's the only way we can combat them. Because otherwise,
always street truth to poor. I'm sorry. I meant power, not poor.
What they do is they go to their own places, like I don't know, Rumble or Truth Social or whatever, and there they don't get any pushback, and they become an echo chamber, which is worse because you can't ban them. You can only divert them.
But they don't like that, though. That's the thing. Is so basically you're saying that we shouldn't have any standards on social media because you're like, oh, now they'll just leave and go to Rumble. Let them. Okay. They don't like it when the people that they hate aren't watching the shit. Right. So if they go off to Rumble, whatever, which is a way smaller platform too, by the way, it just doesn't have the reach. So if you ban them, they have to go to Rumble. That fucks them up pretty good, you know? So, but yeah, I think if you use certain kinds of speech, yeah, you should absolutely not be on certain platforms. But I don't know what he's talking about. Like, I don't know what he's like, who he's talking about that said that they should not be allowed on any social media platforms. And then, yeah, platforming, if he's talking about like, what's his name? The Bob Price bullshit. Yeah, absolutely. Do not platform people like that. I'm gonna call it out. I'm not gonna say that like the people that do platform should be removed from every single social media. But yeah, I'm gonna say that's fucked up. You shouldn't do that, and I'm not gonna watch your shit anymore. That's it. That's as far as I go with it, you know. But and I encourage other people not to listen to it or watch it or whatever. But I'm not going to be like, oh no, we call them up. Hey, Twitter, kick this person off of the social medias, please. Like, I'm not doing that.
I think rationality rules. I think what he does is really great. Now he's like, he mixes politics in there a little bit, but I like the way that he does it. You know, he just really recently had on that.
I totally forgot about that guy. I'm going to be completely honest. Like, he came across my Facebook feed or whatever. It was like, oh, people you should know or whatever. You know, you're like, oh, you can friend these people or whatever. And he came up, I'm like, who? I know this guy's face. And then I was like, oh yeah, that's that rationality rules guy. But yeah, whatever. I don't know. He had some really bad takes back in the day. I haven't kept up with them since. But
philosopher Bofides, no, not Bofides. Hold on, I'll go look. Thomas Bogardus, and I probably said that wrong too. But if you guys don't know, that was the philosopher who had that debate with Vaush years ago, where he's basically arguing against the thing like trans women are women. Here are the philosophical reasons why that argument doesn't work very well. And Vaush said the thing about water is aqua in Mexico. Genetically modified skeptic. I don't know what that guy's real name.
What was his point of all of that? Hold on. What?
Philosopher Bofides? No, a little bit, but I think what he does is really great. Now he's like, he mixes politics in there a little bit, but I like the way that he does it. You know, he just really recently had on that philosopher Bofides. No, not Bofides. Hold on, I'll go look.
Oh, he had the guy on that was saying that women aren't, or that trans women are women. Wonderful. Wonderful. So yeah, he's keeping up with the bad takes. Okay, cool. I got it.
Thomas Bogardus, and I probably said that wrong too. But if you guys don't know, that was the philosopher who had that debate with Vaush years ago, where he's basically arguing against the thing like trans women are women. Here are the philosophical reasons why that argument doesn't work very well. And
Okay,
Vaush
yeah.
said the thing about water is aqua in Mexico.
Bruce said some sort that has to be a cis het white man. Weird, right? Yeah, definitely. No, yeah, that's very strange.
Genetically modified skeptic. I don't know what that guy's real name is, but I think he does an excellent job. And again, these are people with very liberal to leftist ideas. But
oh, this is what you're responding to. Say, yeah, Steve has been trying to be a better human. He still has work to do, but he's growing, and I like that. Oh, that's good. Okay, yeah, like I said, I haven't. So what he was like, he brought that person on to debate against them about their incorrect takes about trans people. Is that what I'm getting here?
I feel that they're not doing the pearl clutching and the purity testing so much as other people are. Matt Dillahunty, Matt is expiring. He has simply become miserable, and I don't know why this is. And I'm not talking about, like, I felt this way months ago. For whatever reason, he just crashes out on people when he debates them. He's been doing it for so long.
I mean, isn't that like part of the charm? That's what you're describing is the Matt Dillahunty charm, which is him telling people to shut the fuck up. And I gotta say, every so often, it's refreshing. You know what I mean? There's been times where I'm like, okay, man, can you just let them say their thing? Okay, can you just? But like other times, like, thank goodness, tell that idiot to shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So it depends. It depends on me, really, at the time. It just, because it could go literally either way for me. But it depends entirely on the mood.
And maybe that's just inevitable, which is too bad. I have watched Matt Dillahunty's debate with Jordan Peterson multiple times because I think it was a masterclass in owning somebody. But I don't know.
Yeah, that was a good one. I actually do like that one a lot.
What happened?
Hey, Ryan, how we doing? What's up?
Lately with him. So I do not view him as the future. Aaron Ra, I don't know what's going on there either. I haven't really paid very close.
At least Amber said that's weird. Man's been getting more mellow in debate and happier overall the last few years. I can't imagine why. No, yeah. I was gonna say because keep in mind this was 8 months ago, so I can't remember what Matt was doing 8 months ago, but also I've noticed that too. I have, and sometimes I miss him telling people to shut the fuck up. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, But again, I would still get annoyed at it sometimes too. So it just really depends.
Attention to him for a while. What I'm hearing people
Deviant, how we doing? What's going on, man?
say with regard to Aaron is that he's like writing his own book of revelations now that Trump is president. He's just gone full. He's gone full like.
What is it? So have you heard the music Joel reads? The Bible has? No, I don't think I have. I'll have to check it out. Joel reads about that sounds familiar, but I don't know as if I've heard the music yet. I'll have to check. Pop it in the Discord so I can see it. Because I would like to know what you're talking about there. I feel like I know that name. Anyway, we'll figure it out. I'm sure I have. There's so many goddamn podcasts that I frequent here and there, so it's hard for me to keep track of them all.
Bug out, the end is nigh sort of thing with regard to Trump. So I don't really view Aaron as being the face, or I wouldn't.
Wait, what is he saying? Hold on now, one goddamn second. You're talking about Aaron now? Let me calm down. Hold on. Fucking what?
Say with regard to Aaron is that he's like writing his own book of revelations now that Trump is president. He's just gone full. He's gone full like bug out. The end is nigh sort of thing with regard to Trump. So
have you seen Trump? Okay, I feel what world are you living in where the end isn't nigh every second of the goddamn day? What the fuck are you? You know what, man? And I knew it. I knew the second I heard some like an R and what the fuck? Shut the fuck up. Just no, wrong. You're just wrong, dude. Okay. Any sentence starting with an R and raw. Don't even get me started on shut the fuck up.
I don't really view Aaron as being the face, or I wouldn't hope necessarily that he
does have a good face for atheism, maybe Satanism too. Probably does have a good face. He just has a good face in general.
the face of the future. Forrest Valkai,
especially after he's had a couple of drinks and his eyes don't line up. I love it.
He's a great science communicator, and I think Forrest would rather predominantly be a science communicator. Although I don't know 100. Like I'm sure he'd like to see change in the world, but anyways. Now I know that he's a self-proclaimed far leftist. He's said that. He said, I'm way far to the left than most people are. Now, again, I don't care about that.
Kind of sounds like you might. Dude.
As long as it doesn't come with the scolding and, here's the list of people I will be publicly denouncing because they said that capitalism isn't inherently evil.
Yeah, that's a thing. That's a thing that the leftists do. You have to say capitalism is inherently evil. Otherwise, we will publicly denounce you and put you on a fucking list. Dude, when people are put on whatever kind of list, I know what he's talking about. Like the people that were like, yeah, you shouldn't platform that person. Usually the shit that they say is not, capitalism's great. That's not what they say. They say like this entire demographic of people are not great. And that's why we say that person's not great. And in fact, they should not be platformed by anybody that we think is great, because that will make us think that they're not great, and so on and so forth. But anyway,
or whatever. And he doesn't do that. I'm not saying that he does that. I'm not 100% sure about Forrest because, like I said, I think he wants his, main thing to be about like promoting science, which is kind of my main thing too. I think like science and critical thinking.
I mean, I'm criticizing. What's up, Maya? How you doing? Is Atheist Debunking Planet Peterson? No, I mean, debunking. I guess I'm criticizing the stuff he's saying, but so kind of. I guess some of the stuff he said was just crazy, and not shit that I would expect from somebody that, encourages people to use critical thinking.
Are more my thing. I actually don't care all that much to talk about atheism and to debate religion. It happens so often because the people against what I'm talking about, their justifications lie within religion and religious type thinking.
Which is kind of funny that and that was exactly why I was saying originally. My point was, I think because I experienced it so much too, which was religion causing me to be harmful. Even though I didn't want to be harmful, but because I was religious, it caused me to have harmful ideas and literally mistreat people because of those harmful ideas. And so I viewed, attacking the religion as a way to make the world better, because you get rid of those justifications, then maybe people will behave better, right? And they won't be so cruel to each other or whatever. I don't know as if that's necessarily the case, but that was my take on the matter anyway. But you see, even here, he's like, I don't even like discussing atheism. I don't like, being anti-religious or whatever, but it comes up so much, even, given what I do, which is just communicate science for the most part, because people that are wrong a lot are always religious.
So those are my thoughts. You can hate them, you can love them, you can think, it wasn't particularly inspiring, but
definitely not particularly inspiring. That's for goddamn sure.
Whatever. Ultimately, I want our side to win, and
we need to do that by appealing to the centrists.
We're not winning, and I think these are the reasons why. Instead of trying to be better at what we do, we just simply say that the other.
It's like the fuck. What is it with it's like, oh, but I want us to win. And so the leftists are the problem. They always do this, dude. And it's like politically, the Democrats do this stupid shit too. And they're always wrong. They're always trying to appeal to the wrong fucking people, you know. And then it ends up costing elections, which I think if Kamala Harris had like been stronger in her criticism of Israel, she might have actually won the election, because that was the main thing that I saw. Of course, I do talk to a lot of leftists, but the main thing that I saw was the criticism of she's not taking a stand on Israel hard enough, which was absolutely accurate.
Side. The reason they don't think the way we think is because they're bad. We're going to be losers forever if we keep doing that. We don't have to be more like them to bring people on our side. We just got to get our shit together, is all. The truth is irresistible, and I think we have it. So let's just do a better job. See you tomorrow.
See you, bud. Wow, that sucks. That's disappointing, but I want to be like, oh man, like take like a hard stance against him. I don't know. So a lot of the stuff he was saying there was irritating, and I do think that he's incorrect about a lot of it. Now, I don't know if some of the folks, and PC was saying this, that some of the stuff that he has said was more problematic than I think what we got here. Right. Because, if he's defending people that are transphobic, that's a serious problem. And I completely lose respect for people that will do that. But all right, so let's see this weirdo. All right, we got so now I don't have to think anymore, because oh my god, I don't feel like thinking. So here's this psycho, and he thinks he's debunking atheism. Or wait, when you accidentally debunk your own atheism. So yeah, so he thinks he's debunking his own atheism. I don't think that's going to pan out the way he's saying it is, but
justify your morality based on what you believe as an atheist.
Great question. First,
Kip, what's up, man? Really? So I need to go back and watch from the start, but Peterson has had this reputation for a while. Damn, I didn't know that. See, I don't feel like I came across Peterson through like the community or anything. I think I came across him because of like debates and stuff, science debates. And I never really saw him discussing anything other than science stuff, other than that one political debate that he did where he did terrible. Dude just got like wrecked, it almost seemed, by that douchebag weirdo guy. But other than that, I haven't really seen him do, or say anything political. But it makes sense. I don't know. I can kind of see it given the way that he talks about some stuff. But yeah, I guess I feel like I should have been. I shouldn't be as surprised as I am. Let me put it that way.
First of all, it's important to point out that there is no speaking for all atheists, because we're not an organization, and literally the only defining belief is a lack of belief.
What's really funny when atheists say this, that, oh, I don't speak for all atheists. Dude, all atheists say the same stuff. But, there might be a special atheist out there. I don't know.
In God.
What? We don't speak for all atheists, dude. It's funny, too, because, like, I feel like we have to say that so often because Christians do speak for all Christians. They're like, well, I'm a true Christian, and so I actually think the right stuff about Christianity, so I do actually speak for Christians, the true ones, not the stupid, weird, wrong ones. Okay, I talk for the true, the ones that think all the stuff I think.
That being said, here's the shortest version I can give you. If things feel good and not do harm to others, do things.
So his definition of righteousness is if it feels good and it doesn't hurt others. Oh, okay, let me just define others as only the people that I like. And so the people that I don't like, they're not really people. They're less than me. And so I can do unspeakable things to them. See how
no, you just redefined what the word, like a very specific word within his argument, and you just redefine. That's like a clear-cut equivocation, man.
That works. That's atheist morality, right?
No, it's not. That's Christian morality, more like, actually. It seems like you're like, just redefine the word neighbor. I'll treat your neighbor as yourself. They're not my neighbor. They believe in a different God, which God says is immoral, based on, I don't know, just like the first commandment. You ever heard of it? That sort of thing. But no, that's definitely something more Christians would do, as far as I have seen. Atheists, well, humanists. I don't like even talking about atheists in this regard, because there's plenty of atheists that aren't humanists. But as far as his understanding of morality, yeah, if it feels good and it doesn't harm others, don't redefine others, because others is just anybody other than you. That's the definition, not some others, just others.
Right there. And it doesn't work. We all know it doesn't work. It is totally subjective. And I think he would know that, in which case he should repent and believe the good news.
But
Really? And it's totally subjective. Yeah, just like your subjective interpretation of what you think your God wants people to behave like. It's still subjective, man.
if thing do harm to others or potential harm to me, don't do things.
How could you possibly know what is potentially harmful for you anyways? Eating junk food all day, sure.
What happened? There was a Discord there? Hold on. This kept responding to what's it? Oh, helping MAGA deconstruct. I like that name. That's pretty good. Helping MAGA deconstruct. No, the Discord stuff. Okay, so let me back up. Where is it? Helping MAGA deconstruct. I don't see. Oh, there it is. Kip Davis did he get fired from his conversation? You can get fired from conversations on Discord. I haven't had enough conversations on Discord, I guess. And then Kip said, no, the Discord stuff happened afterwards. He actually ended up rage quitting the server when everyone was shitting on him and made a video about his heroic martyrdom. Oh, I need that video. Can we get that video, please? I want to watch that one. Is that this video? Is that what we were watching? Yeah, I definitely want to see that. That's sad. That sucks. I hate it when, like, you see something, because again, like, there's so many different creators that I like, see and watch the videos and appreciate for the most part. But like, again, I don't know everything each of them thinks, you know what I mean? And so I just keep getting, and it feels like I'm getting clobbered over and over, because I keep on thinking that these people are like reasonable, rational people or whatever. And then they turn out to like be, platforming like obvious racists and shit, and then crying about people being mad about it. You know what I mean? But God damn it.
It does feel good. Potential harm, though, I don't know, that's debatable. Some atheists would even consider, suicide not a harmful thing. It doesn't hurt anyone else, and I want to do it, therefore it's okay. It's really no wonder that as atheism skyrockets, so do this.
It depends. It depends. I don't want to go into like an Albert Camus like dialogue here, but no, I'm not going to do that. That's I'm not going to. But I'm just saying. I'm just going to say the context matters, And I don't think, since people do not consent to exist, if your life is miserable, I don't think that you should, have to be that way, to live that way. I don't know. I don't think that. I think you should, if there is like, I don't think you should do it because obviously there's other harmful aspects of it, but I still think that people deserve to be happy, and I understand it. I'll put it that way. I understand it when when that sort of thing happens. I don't encourage it, because I think there are ways to change your mindset, and that type of shit is a permanent solution to a impermanent problem. But anyway,
suicide rates, that's just how it works. It's the religion of death. Of course, they're never going to preach it like that, though. They're going to use Christian phrases like good and evil, right, wrong.
Wait a second. What Christians own the patent on fucking good and evil? What the hell? Are you serious? Jesus Christ.
Wrong, but they're going to completely redefine everything in such a way that it ends in death, right? So all they do is reject God's definitions.
First of all, everything does. And that's just a fact, man. Okay. As much as you want to believe that you're just going to magically live forever, everything does end in death, unfortunately. Right. But,
and twist.
yeah. Oh, Kip said, Peterson's stream is called I Got Canceled Again. What? How did I miss that? It was about 5 months ago. Really? Okay, we're gonna have to watch that. How much time do we have? I might have to do a brief. All right, here's what we're gonna do. I think I might do a brief intermission. I'm gonna take a quick break, and then I don't know if you can see me. I'm like dancing because I gotta pee. But and then I think we're gonna come back, and I'm gonna find that. Let's watch. Oh, let me look for it real quick. I'll get it ready to go. I can't believe that shit. God damn it. I got canceled again. This happened again. Okay, this is the second fight. Of course, God damn. What the fuck? Again, part 2. You made multiple parts to this sucker? Okay, hold on. Jesus. Wait, I didn't say part 2. You know what? No, just the regular part, man. Okay. Oh, here it is. Cancel again. Okay, here we go. We're gonna watch. Oh my God, it's 2 hours long. All right, we're gonna skip through and skim through this in just a moment because we're gonna take a brief intermission, and we'll be right back. Wow, and 24 people are still here, even though the curtain is closed for the moment. Okay, here we go. We're back. We're back, and I feel much better. I feel like I can relax without making a mess. You know what I mean? It's a very difficult place to be in, where you can't relax because then you'll make a mess. All right, here we go. Is there like a summary? Hold on. Did he like put out a clip or something? Cancel culture got me fired. Oh, that was 11 months ago. Might be a year ago. Okay, and then this is the second time. Okay, I guess it is just the live stream. Unfortunately. All right.
On chats at the moment. That big bus before the you get it there. Of a clickbait. Wait. A lot of comments before we got started here. A cis white male not being woke enough. Whatever.
Hold on. Whatever. With that stupid dummy with your with your calling me. I hate. Yep.
Waiting. Yeah. I was reading that one early. Canceled again. Such a tragedy. Yep. I mean, this is very different than the last time. It's a little bit of a clickbaity title, but I just wanted to tell you guys this story because it's interesting. What else do we got? Hello. Where am I? Yes, I was a little bit late. I'm sorry about that. The stream just got canceled too.
That wasn't that good, but wow. Laughing for an uncomfortable amount of time. You're laughing, man.
Oh man.
And then oh man at the end. It's just weird.
That's hilarious.
It's not really.
Planet Petersons always getting canceled. I am pretty good at this. Hell yeah for the super chat. Let's see what happened now. LOL. I mean, I'll tell you the story soon enough. This is what happened.
Amber said, just DM'd you a place to get hold music for your break screen. Oh, thank you. Yeah, no, I appreciate that. Yeah, I guess I do need some type of music. I almost want to get that. You know what I'm talking, like when you're on hold on the phone, it's actually a wonderful song, and I actually kind of like listening to it when I am on hold. But well, that was a terrible description of that. But come on, that's perfect. You know exactly. And no, not Jason. No, I know somebody's thinking it's like, no, that's a Jason movie. No, it's not. It's the phone call. Fucking never mind.
Happens when your name is PP. Yeah, I mean, yeah, something like that. Beta. I'm almost. Oh man, no, I am not almost caught up. Man, you guys are going crazy. I still always tell my bus riding employees the same thing and tell myself, take the bus before the bus that gets you here. Right on. I'm not gonna lie, literally none of that made any sense.
I said, I still always tell my bus riding employees the same thing I tell myself. Take the bus before the bus gets you here right on time. Yeah, obviously he's trying to say. Yeah, I don't know either. Fuck.
At all.
Yeah.
Pepe Le Pew. Pepe Le Pew deserves to be canceled. That guy was he was totally advocating for rape culture. Does that have to do with Darth Gary?
Oh, Pepe Le Pew. Yeah, no, that was it was inappropriate. It was quite inappropriate.
No, it has nothing to do with that. Hold on, sorry, I'm trying not to click on chats at the moment, but anyways, so
let's hear it.
Yesterday,
what happened?
Yesterday, I got banned from a Discord server. I'm not going to talk about what Discord server it was. It has nothing to do with the owner of the Discord server. They weren't there at all, but there was a mod who decided to kick me out. And I mean, I did say something pretty bad, but it was in response to something else. So
then it's okay. Then it's not bad. As long as it's in response to something else, then you can't say bad stuff when it's in response to stuff. You know what I mean?
So I will tell you the story.
Let's do it. Let's hear the story. That's what I'm here actually for, the story, because I just found out about all this stuff, man.
I probably should have taken bullet notes because I don't know how to start this off. So I was at the gym, right? And I get this.
Oh, cheers there. Okay. Don't take the bus that gets you there on time. Take the bus that gets you before that one. So you're early, gets there early. Early would be the word to use there. But I think I got what you're saying, because then you're risking being late. Yeah, that's it. You just and you should be on time. Okay. This is America. All right. We're on time around here. This ain't one of those countries where they don't even use the time, like specific time. They just like, oh, I'll meet you in the afternoon. You're like, afternoon? What the fuck? When in the, I don't know, some point in the afternoon, like midday to like evening. I'll meet you at some point.
I see this sort of like it was one of these things where somebody tags everyone in it, you know, so it wasn't directed at me, but I saw it in this Discord server, and it was
He got banned. Eric Peterson got banned from a Discord thing that he's talking about. I don't know. We're trying to hear the story. Okay, like what? Just relax for a second. We'll get there.
something about apparently Lawrence Krauss and Steven Pinker and maybe Richard Dawkins, a few other people. They're getting together to write this book. And the book is on it.
I was so mad. I stopped listening to a book. I got a Steven Pinker book, and I stopped listening to it because I realized that I didn't know that he was like problematic until after I got the fucking book, and then I was like, oh god damn it, I didn't mean to. He's just like once he started making I can't remember what he said. He said a bunch of problematic stupid shit, but like I didn't realize it at the time, and then I told Nikki about it, and she's like, what, why would you get his? I was like, what is he been? He's like yeah. He said all sorts of dumb shit. Like, oh man, hate it when that happens, you know.
I don't even remember what the title was, but it was sort of like how, I don't know if they used the term wokeism or what.
Yeah, see, he's like anti-woke, whatever.
But it was about how things like, I'm just gonna say left-wing identity politics, because I don't toss around the term like,
yeah, he's a piece of shit. PC said, yeah, problematic. Definitely. I can't think of like the specifics right now, but I mean he's anti-woke. What the fuck else do I need to say? Do I need to say anything at that point?
like wokeism
Right?
or anything as a slur like that, because I'm personally
using wokeism as a slur. That's a weird way to say that. Yeah, that's what it is.
like, I'm just gonna say left-wing identity politics, because I don't toss around the term like wokeism or anything as a slur like that, because
So he
I'm
was
just-
saying it like that. I don't use wokeism like it's a slur. I don't. You mean pejorative? Okay.
I'm personally, I personally just think that identity politics is very stupid and toxic and unhelpful, and both sides do it. So instead of like picking on one side or the other, which I guess I probably do that.
Oh, you got some screen caps? Oh man, what? Kip's got screen caps too, so we got it. But no, I know it would take a long time to. That's all right. Well, I'm not going to ask for them specifically right now. We're all just going to sit and wait for Kip. You're on it, right? The screen caps, you got it. We're just going to sit here until you get the. No, I'm just kidding.
More often to the right, because I talk about Christian nationalism, which is a kind of identity politics, I suppose. But I don't say like, I don't use DEI or.
It's so funny when like white people are like, oh, this identity politics shit, as if they don't have an identity. It's just because the identity is the majority. They act like they are just outside of all identity. You know what I mean? It's like a black person talking about DEI or Black Lives Matter or something like that. They can't be objective because they're black. So, but the white person, though, they can. We're always objective, right? Because we're white. So we actually don't have an identity. It's not, God damn it.
Wokeism like as slurs or anything like that. I'm not 100% behind a lot of this stuff either, but only, and I have reasons for that. Progressive, that's not a word. There are reasons because I believe in progress that I'm against them that I will go into later on. But anyways, they're writing this
because you're progressive, you're against like wokeism or whatever, or identity politics or whatever.
Book about this. I don't remember what it's called, but it's about how these things, these left-wing identity politics things, are undermining and attacking science. And somebody said like, LOL, Lawrence Krauss and so are publishing a book through a Christian publishing.
No, Pinker was on Epstein's plane. What? Are you serious? God. Okay.
Company.
Jesus.
Against wokeism or something like that. And I was at the gym and I saw it and I said to myself, don't.
It's intersectional as slurred. He probably would say yes. He's like, oh, intersection. Oh my God. Okay, if we're not talking about the corner of the street, then I don't want to. Then that's a slur right there. Okay, I don't want to.
But then I was like, you know what? I'm feeling a little bit dangerous today. So I just replied and I said, good. And then I was,
Wait, what? I wasn't listening. Hold on.
Don't. Against wokeism or something like that. And I was at the Christian publishing company against wokeism or something like that. And I was at the gym and I saw it and I said to myself, don't. But then I was like, you know what? I'm feeling a little bit dangerous today. So I just replied and I said, good. And then
okay, so it's I'm not going to rewind again, but it sounds like he's saying it's good that they made their anti-woke, like wokeness is bad for science or whatever. Like, are you fucking serious? Like, how stupid can you be? Honestly, that wokeness, that's what's anti-science. It's not the Trump, it's not Trump like getting us out of like the World Health Organization, like data, what is it? Data, whatever hub and all that, and being able to access that information, like having somebody who's literally anti-science and anti like vax and all that type of shit as the health person in the White House. Like there's so many like god damn it, that's like, so I'm irritated right now, so I'm not able to think. I was like, are you fucking kidding me? How is the wokeness what's bad for science? Are you serious? But not the fucking far right Christian nationalist psychos. They're fine, it's the wokeness.
I even told myself, I was like, even if they reply, just don't say anything. But apparently I couldn't help myself. So they said, what do you mean good? And now that because I've been banned, I can't go through and read precisely everything, but I'm going to do my best. This was only 24 hours ago.
Oh, that's cool. We got Kip for that. We'll do it for you. I'm sure it's going to make you look great.
Don't be canceled, bro. That's like, we're way behind that. We're like way behind that. DEI, well, we don't have to worry about that anymore. You're kind of sort of right. I'll talk about that.
Oh, are you anti-DEI too? Okay, wonderful. Oh, because of those damn identity politics, right? If everybody would just act like they're gray, if we can just all act like we're the gray race, everybody will get along.
But anyways, they said something to the effect of, what do you mean by good? And there are parts of this I don't have a problem with, like the concept of DEI and like even wokeism. Everybody's brain always glitches when they're asked, can you even define what that is? Woke, it's a slang term, and it kind of means like awareness, and it's really just the idea that it's being aware that the differences that groups particularly in America have, whether it's racial groups or whatever, is largely due to systematic problems for centuries and decades. So redlining, Jim Crow, slavery, even things like, the GI Bill not being available to African Americans, for example. It's basically, it's just sort of saying that you're aware and you're conscious.
Okay. PC saying DEI is also bad. Well, okay. And here's the thing about DEI. DEI was, it kind of what it is. Here's why it's bad. It's not bad in the direction that they think it's bad. It's bad in the sense that when they just the Black community just wanted the Civil Rights Act enforced, right? Which basically says you can't discriminate against Black people in work or in anything like that, right? And they need they should have the protections in place, legally speaking, so that they are not discriminated against at work. And the reason that DEI is shitty is because instead of enforcing the Civil Rights Act, they get a fucking DEI training. That was their we don't have to do anything about this other than, oh, but you got to take a training. So it was already this softball bullshit of just basically telling the Black community, just shut up. Look, they took a training. Shut up. that was like what DEI was. So in that regard, yes, it's bad. But the crazy thing is the right wingers couldn't even handle that. Like, a fucking training? Oh, fuck you and your fucking whatever, like that. And then now look at it. Now they're like, oh, it's affirmative action, which is not in any way, shape, or form affirmative action. The other thing that DEI is whatever the point of DEI is also it's like DEI, which is access. The whole idea is to like just have like workshops and shit that get whatever the company is out to marginalized groups so that they can apply as well and get equal access, right? So that's a whole nother thing of it. But anyway, but in that regard, yeah, I'd argue that DEI is kind of shitty. Just enforce the Civil Rights Act, arrest people, or like find the companies that have this type of shit happening, or whatever.
Conscientious about the struggles between racial groups in this country and what the cause behind them is. Adam, that's extremely generous. Hey man, love your stuff. I listen to your debates at work and they definitely help the day go.
What's up, David? How you doing, dude?
By faster. Hope the growth continues. You're welcome, Adam. And if you didn't know, I probably shouldn't advertise this, but if you guys didn't know, I upload most of my debates to Spotify. Well, they just go to the podcast network. It's called RSS or whatever. Links for that are in the description for pretty much all my videos. So you can listen, and like, it's not always easy to have a YouTube video going on in the background, but there we go. Woke just means
it is if you pay for it. You just got to pay that fee. It gets rid of all the commercials, and you can play it in the background with your phone off and everything.
You're not asleep. Yeah, something.
This is not an ad for YouTube, even though it's a YouTube channel. But it actually does help me in a lot of ways. In anyway,
something like that.
And your meditations don't get interrupted by ads, which I can imagine would be really frustrating. But
so, anyways, I don't even disagree with what the like woke or whatever position is. And now I do think it goes like way too far with certain things. So anyways, trying to get back to the story.
Thank you. We'd appreciate it. We over here would appreciate you getting back to the goddamn story. That's why we're here.
What I said was they asked like, what do you mean by good, or what's good about this or whatever?
Yeah.
And I said something like, hiring based on race is just discrimination and is a form of discrimination. I said something to the effect of that, and I can't.
It's not. Oh my God, they're so stupid. So he's literally misunderstanding DEI. First of all, the other thing too that a lot of people don't understand is that when we're talking about like race or whatever, hiring people based on race, it's not being able to fire people based on their identities or whatever. So like and I'm going to take the example of like somebody being gay, and the employer finds out that they're gay. You can't fire them, right? So it's not necessarily you're like, oh, you're hiring them based on their race. It's like you're not firing them based on the race. But if they were, let's say like affirmative action or whatever, which is not DEI at all, but they try to conflate the two. It's not the same. It's not necessarily like saying we have to hire a person because of their race. It's saying we're not going to not hire them because of their race. See, this is where it just gets ridiculous. Because I know this shit is like almost impossible to prove or whatever, but that's why we had to enshrine it in law, because there were so many like companies and stuff that would discriminate, and we couldn't trust them to be honest about it. So we had to like go, okay, look, here's what we're doing. You got to do this. You got to have this many people, whatever, and you just got to demonstrate that you're actually giving access to these marginalized groups of people. And because this is what we got to do. It's like, what else are we supposed to do? Just let people like not hire black people because they just assume that they're all like shitty people or whatever? Like, no, of course not.
I can't remember what else there was. So that's like the crux of this entire thing. So I'll get into that in a little bit. But before I do that,
okay.
I'm going to talk about what I was wrong about. So
no, I'm seeing Kip is like, let's see, Kip was there. So, I want to make sure I'm just highlight. That's why I'm highlighting Kip. But let's see, he said, let me do it over here so I can put this up because this is very specific to what we're talking about. Okay. Okay. He said, and I quote, "It's good, in quotes, that stupid ideas are being called out." This was the reference to Krauss, anti-science book whining about DEI. Okay, I see. It's good that stupid ideas are being called out, like DEI. Oh, I see. Good God damn. Okay. Really?
Oh, I forgot the stupid name of the publisher. I know they have a green tree as their logo, and I can't even go look.
You could just ask Google, probably. Which publisher has a green tree as their logo?
Maybe if I look up his upcoming book, I can tell you guys. The War on Science. That's what it's called. And it's going to be published by It's a subsidiary of Simon & Schuster. I do remember that, but I don't remember Green Tree Publishing. Is it really that simple? I'm pretty sure you're trolling me. No, it's not called Green Tree Publishing. But
that was God damn it, commenter, chatter. That was exactly the joke I was gonna say.
Anyways, no, they use that as like an attack to be like, oh, they're even going through a Christian publishing company. And like later on in this exchange, they're saying like, does Lawrence Krauss even contribute to science? He's not even a scientist anymore. Just throwing out every stupid reason they can come up with for attacking them or whatever. But anyways, so I falsely said that it's not even a Christian publishing company.
Ever says Eric is so unprepared, it hurts my head.
Because
I don't know how you enjoy this show though. Like, goddamn, prepared, not something that would be ever used to describe anything I've done at all, anytime, anywhere at all, ever.
It's on their website. And again, I'm at the gym doing this on my phone. And
it's Post Hill Press. Yeah, that's not Green Tree. Okay,
and I looked at all the publications they had. The books that were front and center on their website looked like left-wing identity politics stuff. One was, I don't remember what the book was about, but I don't know if it was like the foreword or the afterword. Part of the book was written by Serena Williams, and it was about African American struggles. And they actually, if you look at when I looked at the categories they have for types of publications, emancipation was its own subgenre. I was like, okay, yeah, you know who's against?
Oh, thank you. You're prepared to do things on the fly at the last second. That's right, good. It's funny to say that because that was like always my mentality, because like most people would like research to like do a particular video, and I'm like, no, I'm just going to keep listening to like critical thinking books and like scholarship books and stuff, and then I'll just like cite what I'm listening to at whatever time, and that way I instead of like preparing for each thing, I'll just constantly be like trying to learn about stuff that I can talk about. It's kind of like what you're saying. That was my point. Yeah.
Talking about this kind of stuff openly, conservative Christians in this country, they're trying to rewrite textbooks, or well, actually they've successfully been doing it for decades. Yeah. They're just trying to do more of it now.
And now you just have atheists that are also bigots that also want to do the same thing.
Peterson Jim Bob collab at any moment now, any minute now. No, I mean probably not.
Probably not, but we'll see. Okay, give it a minute. Give it like 5 months or so.
What was I talking about? Oh, so anyways, now there was Christian stuff on their website, but as somebody who has published 2 books.
Wait. Kip said Post Hill Press published Oliver North's Pardon of Innocence. Whoa.
And as somebody who looks at this, and as somebody who does this online, Guys, I don't know if you're like aware of this, but for every channel like mine or like Myth Vision podcast or Alex O'Connor or Rationality Rules or whatever, for every skeptic, atheist, quote unquote, YouTube channel there is like 100 apologist channels. And Christian publications are absolutely massive. The market is absolutely flooded with them. The company that I use to publish my book with, I'm technically the publisher. They're the producer and distributor, but like most of the books on their website are religious. In fact, although my first book, a huge part of it was devoted to debunking flat Earth, there are flat Earth books on their website because they just say, look, we're a company that helps authors publish, and we're very much pro free speech. And so as long as something we think doesn't like violate our values or is illegal or immoral or whatever, then they're fine with publishing it. Sorry, my light is really dim. So Post Hill Press, that is the one. Thank you very much for pointing that out.
He finally got to it.
So
pro free speech. That's right.
So that was a point I was trying to make. I was like, look, don't just poison the well against Lawrence Krauss. I mean, they're trying to find a publisher, and like I wouldn't say most books that are published are Christian, but it might actually be the biggest genre of types of books published in this country. When I was able to get on an actual computer, I looked them up, and their Wikipedia page does say that they specifically promote Christian stuff. So I was wrong about that. I thought I had a reasonable perspective on that, but
at least he acknowledged that he was wrong. But
there we go. Bigger biceps, therefore debate one. Sure. I don't think so. What the hell is a czar? Thank you very much. ZAR currency. I don't know what that is.
It's 70 of them though.
The South African Rand, huh? That's really interesting. Well, thank you very much. Isn't woke just being aware that other people exist just like you and then being able to put yourself in their shoes? No, it's not. It's not strictly about empathy. It's a particular. It's like a particular awareness of certain struggles and differences that exist in this country. Actually,
and having what for the people that have had those demonstrable struggles in this country. And the world, for that matter.
They already went over it, so I don't really feel like going over it again. Zood Africa.
Like, why? Hold on. Like, hear how he like switches from that. Like, he's like saying, "Oh no, it's not just empathy. It's not. It's having." And then he just says like having awareness of like other people's like struggles with like systemic bigotry and things like that or whatever. And so that gets you out of empathy or something. Like it's having empathy for those people, you know what I mean? That event. What the fuck?
Hey, I don't know if I'm saying that right either. Obviously I'm not all that cultured, so sorry. So what was I talking about? Okay, so that's the thing I got wrong. So we start talking about this, and I'm trying to fixate just on this one thing because I've known about this for a really long time. And I actually first became aware of it actually thanks to Lawrence Krauss. He was the first person I openly heard talk.
Wait, so is Lawrence? See, I don't know much about Lawrence Krauss either. The only thing that I've ever really read by him was The Universe from Nothing because it was, I was just curious about the whole a universe from nothing kind of thing or whatever. But because that argument comes up so often, right? But as far as like politics go, I know, like, I feel like he was canceled, right? He had done some really harmful shit to several women that came forward, right? But is he also right wing on top of that? Because wow, I mean, it would not be surprising, but still, I didn't realize that. Like I said, I don't know much about him, but Kip said, "Yeah, it's Lawrence Krauss, Lawrence fucking Krauss. Why are he and Dawkins publishing with a podunk right-wing grift publisher instead of Random House or Macmillan?" And that's an excellent question. I think it's because the publishers like those read the book and were like, fuck no, we're not doing this. This is an anti-science book by a bunch of right-wing psycho scientists at this point. Scientists that are willing to go against the scholarship of their field just because to make themselves feel better as a bigot.
Talk about it. And this was many years ago. It was more than 5 years ago. And I remember looking into it at the time, but universities, for example, they you find that upwards of 7. So this is starting to change now. So it's hard to find information about it from years back, because if you look up like DEI and stuff like that with regard to colleges, all that's being talked about currently is the fact that colleges are rescinding this stuff now. MIT, I think, was one of the.
And she said, no, it's because I didn't go to adamandeve.com. Go to adamandeve.com. If you want to get podunked, I don't know what you're referring to exactly, but yeah, you should go to adamandeve.com though. And I thank you for reminding me. I do really need to do my ad spots that I keep forgetting. Go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brantley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item. 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brantley. It's in purple writing on the screen right now. Get you bought some stuff.
The biggest universities or the Ivy League schools to do away with it. So if you want to apply, this isn't for students, this is for faculty, to work at a university, in an overwhelmingly large number of cases, you have to write a diversity statement, which just talks about it. Here's you talking about your identity. And then what sorts of things in your life have you had to either recognize or struggle with regards to whatever, with regard to social justice or something like that. Now, there's I don't necessarily find anything wrong with that.
I mean, speaking truth to power, like, isn't that been like a part of like college culture for fucking ever? Is that not been a thing? Like, I don't know. I mean, I always thought that was like something cool, and a lot of it is like driven by the kids, the kids in college. They care about things, and that's a good thing as far as I could tell, but whatever.
But what's been shown,
Is he saying you're supposed to be like anti-diversity? Like you're not supposed to do that with him?
is that upwards of like 70% of people's applications are thrown in the trash, literally just based on the diversity statement. So that is discriminatory hiring, and I don't think that that's right. We're trying to do like,
wait, what? What is thrown in the trash? You're saying like they're not these colleges are not accepting enough white people? Is that what it is? Really? My God. Like it's crazy that an institution that historically wouldn't even allow black people to be a part of that institution. And then now, they're like, we're in a place where they actually want diversity, because it is actually a strength. But now they're like, they've rectified that past problem, and now it's like, now you're just being bigoted against white people that you're not letting in. Shut the fuck. Oh my God, that's stupid.
I understand the point, the initiative, kind of, if you will, but I think that that's completely wrong. So anyways, I sort of gave that point. I said, well, the fact that universities, you can find like these extremely high numbers where they throw out.
He cited so the study Peterson cited to support this claim is highly problematic. Oh, that's unfortunate, but leave it to him to cite a problematic study.
People's applications just based on the diversity statement.
Is that what's like, what study? I didn't even hear him cite a study. I just hear him complaining about the diversity thing.
Anyways, sorry, I got distracted reading comments for a second there. Now when I said that,
For a section, because it's the comment section.
There were like two people involved in this exchange. I don't remember what their usernames were even. But when I said that, they said citation needed, which is really important, because what that means is that you do agree. This is something that happens in debates. I've experienced a lot. That means that you do agree that that's wrong, but you're doubting it. You can't doubt it. Like when you say this to somebody like a Christian or whatever, like, well, what about blank? And they're like, what verse is that in? So, okay. And then you go find it, and then they come up with excuses. So that was happening. The other person in this exchange, they were just kind of a mess. They were all over the place. They said that they find no problem with that. And so there's a number of different responses to that I was going over with them. And it was, examples like, well, so do you think if a corporation says, or an organization, corporation, university, whatever, has a whites only policy, that's wrong? And they said, yes, that's wrong. It's like, okay, what if they have a policy that says no white people allowed? And they said that was wrong too. I was like, okay, well, so we're not like totally lost here. But
it's just like where they get mad, because I've heard people say like there are like clubs that are like black only clubs and stuff like that, and there's like dorms that are like black only dorms and stuff, and acting like that's the same thing as like a whites only dorm. When I feel like I've mentioned this several times before, but like white doesn't really mean anything. It's not a singular culture. It's not like it's anything. But like, so it usually, what white means is I'm not one of them. That's what white means. It means I'm not one of those, whatever. It's you're not something, not that you are something. Anyway, so that's why it's like it's weird to say that that you're proud to be that way, or that they're the only ones allowed. You're not saying that whites are the only ones that are allowed. You're saying that people of color are the ones that are not allowed. So that's where that goes wrong. But it's not the same thing. Again, like historically, like black people weren't even allowed to be in college, and now they're like they get their own dorm space. A lot of times it's for networking and things like that, right? Because when you're in those college settings, a lot of one of the really cool things about those settings is like the political action and everything, and then getting getting to know other people that are part of your same culture that you can interact with. And it's like it's not just black people too. It's like a whole bunch of stuff. Like they have Korean ones, right? And it's just like people that are minorities feeling more comfortable in a majority not their culture place, being able to be around other members of their culture and race and things like that. There's nothing wrong with that because they're minorities. If you're the majority, then it doesn't. It's a very different thing. Like these two things are not equal. Holy shit.
There was a sense of the 70% thing.
Hey, Vic Litt, how we doing? What's going on? It's good to see you.
Is like that's obviously bad. And then the other person just says, well, it depends on what kinds of values and goals and whatever they have, which is actually completely beside the point, because it's literally just about, oh, how does this person identify? Well, we don't hire those types. So applications are being thrown out by the busload because of that. What else? Like I said, I should have written down bullet points because I'm just freeballing it here.
Yeah, you're wildly unprepared, even more unprepared than I am, which is crazy. Because I'm just always that way. I'm so regularly unprepared that I prepare to be unprepared. And then, wow, boom, flip it.
So I was at the gym, and then eventually I got home because I was like, well, when I get on a computer, I'll find some stuff on this, and then I'll share it with you. And
Yes, by the busload. They pull up a bus, put a bunch of white people applications in that bus, and then drive it off a fucking cliff.
While this is all going on, the like I said, there's two people involved in this exchange, and I don't remember who was doing what specific thing. I just remember like whatever. But
What the hell was that entire sentence? There was a couple people in there doing things, and some of the people said certain things, but I don't remember which person said the certain things, but whatever. Anyway, moving on.
At one point, they're starting to get really offended because they can tell that a sort of a kink in their logic is being unveiled here, because I keep giving them like the hypotheticals or the case here, or like, I understand, like, you think this is about progressivism, but the logic of this is exactly what.
Yeah, exactly. Oh, is this PP's gripe against DEI? Yep.
What racist people say, for example. Or as Guts 420 says, discrimination is discrimination is discrimination. And again, things like affirmative action.
You can't discriminate against a majority, dude. That doesn't make any fucking sense. They're the majority. How the hell? Okay, my God. It's like, in an attempt to not discriminate, you're saying that they're discriminating because you're the people of the majority are like, oh, this isn't fair. It's like, no, man, you are the majority here. Like, it is fair. Like, you've historically been like propped up and have systemic privileges that have propped you up and everything for centuries. And yet this little thing to just give other cultures that have like historically been held back, to give them somewhat of a fighting, like, balanced chance. Oh, now it's discrimination. Jesus Christ.
And I think those are good ideas. It was never supposed to last forever, and now it's sort of gone. But this is something a little bit.
You don't even do affirmative action anymore. Like, you could literally discriminate in that way legally, as long as you just don't fucking say it. That's the only thing you can't do. You could do it all day long, but if you say that you're doing it, well, then you get in trouble. But that's it. That means you can just do it without saying it, which is just the fucking Southern strategy.
Different. I agree on this. It should be based on income, not race. The initiative is good. However, it still punishes universities to make a more diverse environment. This is, you're kind of hitting the nail on the head on sort of a general issue with this, is that when people try to enact social change or try to do equitable things, they say it affects people's color, for example, more often.
Yeah, is that a kink was found in their logic. Wonder what kink. I wonder if my logic has some kink. It probably does. I have some kinky logic. Yeah, you don't even know. Okay, my logic is chained up, being whipped right now. You know,
often because they're more likely to be disadvantaged. Well, if we literally just had programs that are specifically for the poor, then that would accomplish the goal that we're talking about. But a lot of times people will skirt that and say, well, no, if you're poor and part of this group, this includes Asians as well, then you don't count. And it's like, wait a minute. So if we had some sort of universal basic income in this country, and it goes to everybody, except
there are systemic reasons why Black people have historically been poorer overall. Like, that's not the same for white people. That's why it doesn't make sense to like pander to like all poor people in that way. It's like, it makes sense, and not even pander, that's like a terrible way to say it, but just like try to even things out or whatever, or like give more opportunity, because the opportunity should be there for the people that have had that opportunity systematically removed. And they're just like trying to like even the score a bit in that regard. You can't just like, oh, we should have. And I agree that, and I think that we should be able to like offer like college and stuff to all poor people. I think that would, be something but obviously they're not going to do that. So, we go this other direction. But whatever.
What they find is at the very end, we only have, like, everybody gets $500 a month. And we get to the very end and we realize, oh crap, we have 2 people left, but our budget is only $500. And the 2 people are LeBron James and some Appalachian white hillbilly. Well, who gets the money? Worryingly, I feel like a lot of these crazy leftists would say that
What's up, Mikey? How we doing, dude?
LeBron James deserves the money more so. So this is where that kind of thing
Come
pops up.
on.
But anyways, what the hell was I talking
Are you
about?
serious? Like, what? Because he's rich, is what you're saying? So he would get the money just for being black, and you're saying, but he's rich, so we shouldn't address the systemic, or we shouldn't try to address the systemic injustice that of racism throughout history or whatever by maybe giving black people a bit more of a chance than other races or whatever, as far as like entrance into college and stuff. Okay, I don't, whatever. Like, this is just ridiculous.
Oh, amongst all this, it really started to devolve into just really stupid personal attacks against me. So, for example, when talking about the book publishing thing, and I was telling them, and at one point I did just call the person an idiot because they just weren't even trying to comprehend this.
So I love he's like, it just got to like these really stupid personal attacks on me. Okay, I did call the guy an idiot. Okay, I was the one that calling everything, but they personally attacked me about stuff too. So
I mentioned to them that I have published books, and I know that publishers publish it. Even a completely neutral publisher, they're going to have tons of Christian books because more of those are written by people than any other kind of book. And I mentioned that the company I used to get my book published, people have gone.
Yeah, I agree. Devianalka said no one is free in society unless education is free. I totally agree with that. I think education should be free for everybody, including higher education, like college and whatnot. But yeah, totally agree.
Through that same company to publish flat Earth stuff.
I mean, it's crazy how many issues would be solved if we did just like make things better for everybody that is poor. But whatever.
And I don't remember specifically what they said, but they're just like, oh, this stupid anti-science racist person who doesn't even know anything and published their book on some sort of stupid website, blah blah blah. Just like literally in the most uncreative way, just hurling insults. Like, if they were right wingers, it would be the equivalent of them just saying like, oh, this guy's just a Mexican or something like that. It's like, what the fuck are you attacking me like in this just most stupid and personal way for, in line with your identity politics, by the way.
Oh yeah, their identity, not yours.
So anyways, there was
you don't have an identity. Your identity is nothing because you don't do that.
And one person they wrote anybody who's something like anybody who's a fan of Jordan Peterson doesn't even deserve to be listened to. And I was like, what? And then the other person said, oh my God, is that why he's called Planet Peterson? And then,
oh man, it is. Oh shit. He's a Jordan Peterson. I knew it. God, man, this guy is the worst. He's just so oh, wait, that's not what he's. Oh, I should keep listening. Okay.
He replied and they said yes. And I don't know why you would troll that way. If you think you're.
That's hilarious. What are you talking about? That would have been me. I'd have been like, yeah, he is actually. I think, yeah, it's Planet Peterson because of how he wants a whole planet full of Jordan Petersons. That's right. That's why he named his show that.
Supposed to be because it's supposed to be a conversation about being principled and logical and whatever. Kicked off of TikTok? No, it's just some random ass Discord server. I was like, I don't know why you would troll if this whole time you've been trying to have this like serious discussion about that, or if they really just meant that. And I said I have virtually nothing good to say about Jordan Peterson, so I don't know why you're saying that. On and on and on. This kept happening. So anyways, eventually there's a lot more I could say, but I'm forgetting a lot of the details. So I kept running this by them. When I got home, I said, okay, so I grabbed the replies. I said to the one,
Yeah, dude. No, like so Glenn, like you said, medical debt and student loans are like such a weight on a lot of people's shoulders. Absolutely. That shit is so expensive. Like and it's like you're gonna no matter and I know folks that went to college, got literally a couple degrees, worked their ass off to get these degrees and everything. Absolutely deserve them. Did get a good job, right? A job paying quite a lot of money, and still, even with like 100K a year, whatever salary, they're still struggling to pay back that money because it's just so much, and it's like I don't know, the way that they do the loans, then you can't there's a bunch of like now it's become even more difficult. Like they're basically saying they have like no exceptions or exemptions or whatever for those kinds of loans, which they absolutely should have like exemptions and stuff. But anyway, it's the whole thing. Yeah, it's absurd. It's an absurd, ungodly fucking like crazy amount of money for that shit, and then it just gets held over your head forever. And then the medical shit, are you kidding? That shit is insane. That like cripples people financially a lot. Like I feel like that was, if I'm not mistaken, it's like the number one reason that people end up in poverty is medical bills in America.
person in particular who was a mod on this channel, which I didn't know, but
What?
running this by them. When I got home, I said, okay, so I grabbed the replies. I said to the one person in particular who was a mod on this channel, which I didn't know, but they were. So I said to them, remember when you said that it would be wrong if universities throw away the majority of the applications they get based solely on how the person identifies? And they said they tried to play ignorant about it, but but I literally just copy and pasted or took a screenshot and pasted earlier what they said. And then they kept trying to do.
That's what it is. Yeah, number one way to go bankrupt. That is medical bills. Crazy.
Do this stupid shit of, well, I need more information. Another person kept saying, yeah, they should do that because you don't want Nazis working at your school. It's like, that is absolutely not what diversity.
What? Hold on. Are you serious?
Other person kept saying, yeah, they should do that because you don't what they said. And then they kept trying to do this stupid shit of, well, I need more information. Another person kept saying, yeah, they should do that because you don't want Nazis working at your school. It's like, that is absolutely not what diversity statements or whatever are for. And the other person was saying,
I don't want to. Oh, wait, they were trying to say that the reason that they ask you your opinion on diversity, I honestly don't even know necessarily like what he's talking about, like as far as diversity goes. I know that when people are trying to get into a school, if you are a person of color or minority, that talking about the struggles that you've had as that minority is something that they will look at and look into a lot of times, because if you still made it to be able to have good grades and things like that, and you are a person of color, that usually means that you've worked like really hard, like twice as hard as like you got to keep in mind too, though, like they always talk about this type of shit when they're talking about people of color and everything, allowing them to come in and saying that they will let in more black people or whatever than white people, based solely on race and everything. But it's not necessarily that. Usually it's like the black person will like have like other things too, you know what I mean? Like it's not just the grades or whatever that they're looking at. They're also seeing that like, oh, they're also the head of their dance team, they're also the the quarterback or whatever. They do these other things, you know what I mean? They take that stuff into consideration too, but these white idiots would just act like they're not looking at any of that. It's just the grades, and so they're lowering standards or whatever for black people, and that's not how it works. They just they look at more than just grades.
Something like it's fine if they want to. Actually, I think it was the other person, but whatever. They said if there's a certain value or whatever that they want to that they want to promote, and that's
Kip said, I think I might have been the one that made the Nazi comment. Oh yeah, that's awesome. But I don't, maybe Kip can clear this up. I'm highly uneducated. I did not go to anything. I was homeschooled, so I know very little about the college experience. My partner, though, she is, a poli-sci major and has multiple degrees and everything. But and so she tells me stuff, but that's like the extent of where I get my knowledge from. So I don't know, like, so if you're just a white person, and they ask you, they say, okay, now write a diversity paper, and as the white person is trying to get into this college, you give what your thoughts on diversity. I mean, I could see this, like, it's almost like Kip was saying, like something that's like, are they going to be a problem if they're here? If you ask them about diversity, right, and they need to write a paper about it, and they get mad about that or write really shitty things about diversity, you might not want that person at your facility for obvious reasons. But I don't know if that's why because I've never heard of this. So I don't know. It's just odd, this whole thing.
what they hire by, then there's no problem with that. And I kept trying to point out that this is exactly what a whites only policy would be. It's the exact same thing. And they wouldn't reconcile with any of this. And they kept saying, could you provide the source that you had? And I had one. I could have looked up multiple, but I just pulled up the one, and I wasn't telling them anything at the moment.
Is this must be the source that we're talking about as far as the study, right?
Because I was just trying to get them to first give me what their position is. Because, like I said, the one person started off, because they said citation, they knew that it was wrong. This other person that really wasn't involved in the whole thing at all, they also wrote this comment. They said, I also would like a citation for this completely outrageous claim. But the claim is completely true. You can hear, this is the only source. I had a list of other sources. I still have the links for them somewhere. But this was the only one I pulled up as this was all going on in real time. And so anyways, I kept getting them to go back to this thing like, you think that's wrong, right? And then they kept shifting the goalpost and saying, well, here's why it could be fine or whatever. And they kept saying, show that, or what they kept saying is need more context. I was like, there is no context where it's okay to discriminate based on race for hiring. No,
if you're going to say it's discrimination, even if it's the majority race, then I don't know what to tell you. Because if you redefine discrimination to mean that, then yeah, it absolutely does need more context, dude. Because we need to know what who you are talking about discriminating against. If you're thinking you can discriminate against like the majority like that, it just doesn't make any sense.
Having quotas and discriminating is not the same thing, for example, but that's not what goes on with these. So from that one alone, it very specifically says there was a science faculty hiring position. That paper is pretty long. And the paragraphs aren't numbered or anything, but it's down there quite a ways. But
Deviate said, question, is K through 12 free in the US? Yeah, it is. That one, that is, but that's it. And it's being defunded all the time. So it's getting worse and worse every day. But yes, it is technically free.
There's this,
I feel like the right is trying to make it not free. They are trying to make it to where, some people get education and other people that they don't like or they believe don't deserve it don't get education. But, they've been doing this for a long time. actually, ever since like the 60s, where they divided things with these red lines that they just draw and then divided good stuff from bad stuff and funded stuff from not funded stuff.
Science position, and they threw away over 70% of the applications just based on the diversity statements for like a DEI initiative or something like that. So I finally gave them the source. And
what was it? What was the source?
So this is the part where it's at
70%. 70% of the applications are just being thrown away based on nothing other than the diversity statement.
Absolutely all goes to shit or whatever. Why is the stream titled this? What's happening? Oh man,
what is happening? Why is it titled this? What is going on right now? Are you canceled? Oh my god!
Should have got here like a really long time ago because I'm not retelling the story. 70%. Yes, it was. It might have been a little bit higher than that. Let me see if I can find the very specific.
If I remember correctly, in the study he cites, it was only one school that did this. Yeah, that makes sense. As if it's like some ubiquitous fucking problem among like all schools or whatever, and it's just like one school did this, and it's like Howard U or some shit.
Word science comes up over 70 times. Oh damn! I wish I could remember the
70%. Even they are like, "Come on, man, you sure? 70% sure? 70? Huh? Man, you think 70%?"
The specific numbers were 85%. Well, that's a different one. University Irvine. Nope.
No, really? No shit. It was like Howard U or something. That is so funny. Helping Magna Deconstruct said, yes, it was one school that is a minority university. Jesus Christ, that is so funny, dude. And of course, they use that as their argument as why they got to get rid of all DEI.
One. I can find out what the exact number was if I can find. It was one of the California
David Duke University poll or study that was done at
universities. But a whole bunch of those are mentioned in this paper. So
no, not Duke University. I'm sorry. No, that's different. This is David Duke University. They do very specific racially motivated studies that and a lot of people mix it up with the Duke. But I see how you got it. No, it's David Duke. That's his university.
Oh, it's going to be hard to find specifically which one it was.
Man, you should have like written something down or prepared or something, man. He's just gonna sit here staring.
Okay. The quick scroll method is not doing it for me, but
yeah, because it's not because you found some obscure fucking study.
You guys all have the paper there. You can go through it if you want. Did I ever get that McChicken? No, I'm still waiting for that McChicken. So sorry. Anyways.
Andrew, your segues are making less and less sense by the second. What are you talking about? And you said, unlike AdamandEve.com that welcomes you in your holes, and an open friend to what was it? Welcome you in your holes, right? What? I don't understand. I don't know what you're trying to communicate. Are you listening to the same stream that we're all listening to? When were holes mentioned? Fucking what?
So I shared that, and there's been some mudslinging, quite a lot of it going back and forth, but it's 100% of it has been initiated by these psychopaths.
Oh.
So what I said,
not you that brought up the original anti-DEI, anti-woke like arguments.
Hey, after I paste the source, and then I prove that the thing that they said was wrong is a real thing that has been happening for a long time. I wrote something that's pretty long and detailed, and I talked about this earlier, but I didn't explain it. I'm not against these things because I don't. I'm against them because I think that it's completely unhelpful to a progressive cause, which I believe in. So, by way of analogy, we'll start with this, and this is what I said to them.
Jordan, where you been? God damn it, John. All right, I'm sorry, y'all. We all gotta start over the whole thing. I know it's been going for almost 3 hours, but we're gonna have to go back to the first one. Jordan just got here, and I don't want, I want to make sure. Just rewind, Jordan. It's okay. You got it.
Do you know who's actually in favor of carbon taxes? The biggest oil companies. Now, why is that? Because they know that they're the only ones that can compete with that. They're the only ones that can foot the bill on that to pay those carbon taxes. So it literally eliminates competition for them. In the short term, they make less money, but in the long term, they know that they make more. Why are people talking about Hassan Piker? He does say really incredibly stupid shit. Like the prop, whatever it was, 39 or something in California. We can talk about that later. So I said that. And then I said, do you know why these big corporations are so in favor of things like DEI and all that? Because what they do is they use this as a gimmick. They hire all of these people of color or whatever. And then what they effectively do is they use this, and these are not original ideas from me. I get all these ideas from progressive political analysts or analyzers and commentators who I listen to. They hire
analysts is the word. Analyzers is not a thing.
Hire all these people and effectively make them their mascot for the organization, whether it's a university or a mega corporation or whatever. Meanwhile, and what that does is there's probably a term for this, like race washing or something like that, where you try to better your image by engaging in all this phony stuff at the surface, but in reality, you don't do anything with regard to the cause that supposedly this helps. So I hire all these people, effectively make them their mascots. Meanwhile, they're cheating the tax system or buying people off to rewrite the tax system in their favor. They literally cause a lot of material harm because if it's, for example, this would be kind of hard to think of a specific example, but some sort of like mega corporation that deals with a lot of industry. A lot of that industry gets put into poorer neighborhoods, which on average are going to affect, people of color more often. Like in Kalamazoo, I don't remember what this factory is, but in Kalamazoo, Michigan, there have literally been hundreds of premature Black babies that have died because of pollution from this factory. And guess what's been done about it? Literally nothing at all. Or Flint, Michigan, for example. There's
are you? I don't understand. So you're saying that? Okay, I don't. Maybe I lost maybe I lost track when I was reading the chat or something. But aren't you just like you're acknowledging that there is extreme inequality here, and you're citing like the demonstrative issues or like or evidence of that, right? But you still don't think that there should be like universities should be able to give folks that have been historically mistreated more of a chance to get into their universities or whatever. Okay.
I can't remember what it was. Some city, maybe it was in Kentucky. I don't remember where it was, but one of the natural disasters we had last year, there was a big, like it disrupted their water system, and heaven and earth was moved to make this problem fixed as fast.
Yeah, it's funny too because I think you're talking about because I feel like I was trying to reach out to you too, and I had trouble with it as well. I could not find. I have the biggest problem with Discord. It's like I don't know if I have to like friend people, but Discord is quite confusing to me. So, and I do it all on my phone. I don't know, is that a problem? Or is it, can you do all the same stuff on your phone that you can on the computer? Because I just use it on the phone. Anyway, okay, y'all, I got it. I gotta go. But thank y'all so much for hanging out. This was super fun. But yeah, but Kip, yeah, you should join the Discord, and then you know, I'll hit you up, and then you can come on the show. You should come on sometime. Got some stuff we can react to. It'll be fun. All right, but all right, y'all. Thank you so much for hanging out. This is awesome. And you know, if you want to play with things hanging out of your butt, go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley at checkout to get 50% off almost any one item. 6 free movies, 3 free gifts, and free shipping on the whole order. Go to adamandeve.com. Enter code word Brentley. That's right. Get your butt something to hang out of it. Yeah, that'll work too. Okay. If you want to support the show, you can support us by supporting our sponsor, adamandeve.com, or you could do a bunch of other shit, right? You can become a patron at patreon.com/bunkapostate. You can do a one-time payment on Cash App or cash tag is bunkapostate. You can become a member by hitting that join button of the channel called Bunkapostate. You can email me at bunkapostate@gmail.com. Join our Discord and follow me on all the other social stuff. Which all the links are below. But hey, you know, the main thing is to stay logical, loving, skeptical, and compassionate, and we will see you next time. Oh, you don't say that.